In this video, we will break down every single acronym you need to know for the Security Plus exam. From AAA to XSS, we will not only define them but also explain them with real-world examples and visuals to make them stick. So grab a notebook, hit that like button, and let's dive into the ultimate Security Plus acronym guide that will simplify your study journey. AAA, that is authentication, authorization, and accounting. So authentication is the process of verifying the identity of a user, device, or a system to ensure that only authorized entities gain access to resources. Examples, it typically involves validating credentials such as passwords, that is something you know. It is a type of authenticating factor, that is something you know. Biometrics such as fingerprint, which is the authenticating factor type, something you are, or security tokens, which is the authenticating factor type, something you have. Similarly, authorization is the process of determining and granting a user's permission to access specific resources, perform certain actions, or use particular services based on their verified identity. Authorization usually takes place after authentication. So typically user first logs in using the authenticating factor such as username and password, and then the user is able to perform certain action as per their authorization. And the third one is accounting. Accounting or auditing refers to tracking and recording a user's activities such as access to resources, performed actions, and system usage. Example include login and logout logs, command execution logs, etc. ACL, that is access control list. So a list of rules that controls who can access or modify resources like files or network devices. It defines permissions for users or systems based on criteria such as IP headers or user identity. Example include a firewall ACL blocks traffic from suspicious IP addresses. AES, that is Advanced Encryption Standard. So a secure encryption method used to protect data by transforming it into an unreadable format. It uses symmetric keys, meaning the same key is used for encryption and decryption. Examples, AES is commonly used for securing Wi-Fi networks and encryption of sensitive files. AH, that is authentication header. So authentication header is a protocol in the IPsec suite that provides data integrity and authentication for IP packets. It ensures that the data has not been altered and verifies the sender's identity but does not encrypt the content. Examples, AH is used in secure VPN connections to validate packet authenticity. AI, that is artificial intelligence. So AI, artificial intelligence, refers to the simulation of human intelligence in machines, allowing them to perform tasks that typically require human cognition, such as learning, problem solving, and decision making. Examples include chatbots like ChatGPT and Gemini. AI in cybersecurity can analyze patterns to detect unusual activity, such as identifying potential threats based on previous behavior. AIS, that is automated indicator sharing. So AIS, that is automated indicating sharing, is a system that enables the automated exchange of cyber threat indicators such as IP addresses, URLs, and file hashes between organizations and government entities to improve cybersecurity. AIS is designed to help identify and respond to cyber threats more quickly by sharing real-time threat intelligence. Example, US CERT uses AIS to share cybersecurity threat indicators with private sector partners to enhance protection against emerging threats. ALE, that is annualized loss expectancy. So ALE is a risk management metric used to estimate the potential financial loss an organization could face due to a specific risk over the course of a year. It helps organizations prioritize their risk mitigation efforts by quantifying potential losses. So the formula for ALE is equal to ARO, that is annual rate of occurrence, multiplied by SLE, that is single loss expectancy. So let's suppose, for example, if an organization expects a data breach to occur 5 times every year, that means that annual rate of occurrence or ARO is 5, and the estimated loss from a breach is 1000, that is SLE is $1000, then the ALE would be 5 times 1000, that is $5000. This means the organization can expect a potential loss of $5000 per year from that specific risk. AP, that is access point. So access point is a device that allows wireless devices to connect to a wired network using Wi-Fi or other wireless standards. It serves as a central hub for communication between wireless devices like laptop or smartphones and the network, extending the network's range and providing wireless connectivity. Example, a Wi-Fi router is a home network. In a home network acts as an access point, enabling devices like smartphones, laptops, and smart TVs to connect wirelessly to the internet. API, that is Application Programming Interface. So API is a set of rules and protocols that allows different software applications to communicate with each other. It defines the method and data formats that programs can use to request and exchange information. Example, payment systems like PayPal provides APIs that allow websites to process transactions securely without needing to handle payment information directly. APT, that is Advanced Persistent Threat. So APT, Advanced Persistent Threat, refers to prolonged and targeted cyber attack where an attacker gains unauthorized access to a network and remains undetected for an extended period. APTs are typically carried out by highly skilled and organized threat actors, often with specific objectives such as espionage, data theft, or sabotage. Examples include a nation-state actor might launch an APT against a government agency to steal sensitive information over several months or years. So these are the properties of APT. They are targeted, persistent, complex, and evasive. ARO, that is annualized rate of occurrence. So ARO, or annualized rate of occurrence, is a risk management metric that estimates how often a specific risk or threat is expected to occur in a year. It helps organizations quantify the frequency of potential incidents, which can be used to calculate the annualized loss expectancy, that is ALE. Example, if a network outage is expected to happen 3 times per year, then the ARO would be 3. ARP, that is Address Resolution Protocol. So ARP, Address Resolution Protocol, is a network protocol used to map a device's IP address to its physical MAC, that is Media Access Control address, on a local network. It enables devices to communicate within a local area network LAN by translating IP address into MAC address, which are required for proper data transmission. For example, if a device tries to communicate with IP address 192.168.1.10 but does not know the corresponding MAC address, it sends an ARP request asking who has 192.168.1.10. The device with that IP address will respond with its MAC address. ASLR, that is Address Space Layout Randomization. So ASLR, address space layout randomization, is a security technique used to randomize the memory address used by system and application processes. By changing the locations of key data structures such as the stack, heap, and shared libraries, it makes it more difficult for attackers to predict the memory layout and exploit vulnerabilities like buffer overflows. Example, if an attacker tries to exploit a buffer overflow vulnerability, ASLR would cause the attacker's crafted input to fail because the expected memory locations for exploiting the bug are different on each execution. Attack, that is adversarial tactics, techniques, and common knowledge. So attack, that is adversarial tactics, techniques, and common knowledge, is a comprehensive knowledge base used by cybersecurity professionals to describe the actions and behavior of cyber adversaries. It, it categorizes and documents the tactics, the why or objectives, techniques, the how or methods, and procedures, that is specific actions used by attackers during cyber attacks, helping organizations understand and defend against threats. Example, MITRE ATT&CK framework is a frequently used to map out and assess known adversary behavior in various environments like enterprise networks, cloud infrastructure, and mobile platforms. AUP, that is acceptable use policy. So AUP is a set of rules and guidelines created by an organization to define acceptable and unacceptable behavior when using its network devices or online services. Example, an organization's AUP might prohibit employees from using company email for personal purposes, downloading unauthorized software, or accessing inappropriate websites. AV, that is antivirus. So AV or antivirus refers to software designed to detect, prevent, and remove malicious software, that is malware, from computers and networks. AV software typically scans files, programs, and emails for signs of viruses, worms, spyware, and other forms of malware. Example, a user install AV software like Norton or McAfee to protect their personal computer from malware and prevent potential infections from downloaded files or email attachments. Bash, that is born again shell. So Bash born again shell is a command line interface and scripting language for Unix-based operating systems such as Linux and Mac OS. It serves as a shell for interacting with the operating system, allowing users to execute commands, run scripts, and automate tasks. Example, in a terminal, you can use bash to run commands like ls, that is to list files, or cd, that is used to change directories. BCP, that is business continuity planning. So BCP, that is Business Continuity Plan, is a strategy and set of procedures designed to ensure that an organization can continue operating during and after a disaster or disruptive event. Example, a data center may have a BCP that includes backup power systems, off-site data storage, and disaster recovery protocols to ensure service continuity during power outages or natural disasters. BIA, that is Business Impact Analysis. So BIA, Business Impact Analysis, is a process used to identify and evaluate the potential effects of disruption to an organization's critical operations. It helps prioritize business functions and resources to ensure that essential services can continue during and after a disaster or disruption. Example, a financial institution may perform a BIA to assess the potential impact of data loss or downtime on tracing systems, ensuring that recovery plans are in place to minimize financial and reputational damage. BIOS, that is Basic Input Output System. So BIOS, basic input output system, is a firmware embedded in a computer's motherboard that initializes hardware components during the boot up process and provides an interface between the operating system and the hardware. It performs basic system checks and loads the operating system from storage. Example: when you power on your computer, the BIOS performs a power on self test that is posed to check for hardware issues such as faulty RAM or missing hard drive. BPA, that is Business Partner Agreement. So BPA, Business Partners Agreement, is a formal contract between two or more organizations that outlines the terms and conditions of their business relationship. It typically includes details and roles, responsibilities, financial agreements, intellectual property, confidentiality, and dispute resolution. Example: a software development company might sign a BPA with a marketing firm to collaborate on launching a new product, specifying revenue sharing, marketing strategies, and joint responsibilities. BPDU, that is Bridge Protocol Data Unit. So BPDU, Bridge Protocol Data Unit, is a type of network message used by Spanning Tree Protocol (STP) to maintain the loop-free topology in Ethernet networks. BPDUs help network switches communicate and decide the best paths for data to travel, preventing network loops by determining the root bridge and other important topology details. Example: a network switch sends BPDU to other switches to exchange information about the network's topology, ensuring all devices have a consistent view of the network and can adjust to changes like link failures or new switches. CA, that is Certificate Authority. So, CA Certificate Authority is an organization or entity that issues digital certificates to verify the ownership of public keys. These certificates ensure secure communications by establishing trust between parties, such as in HTTPS connections. Example: Let's Encrypt, a widely used CA, issues free SSL/TLS certificates to websites to enable secure HTTPS connections. CAPTCHA, that is Completely Automated Public Turing Test to tell computers and humans apart. So CAPTCHA, that is Completely Automated Public Turing Test to tell computers and humans apart, is a security mechanism used to distinguish between humans and automated bots. It prevents bots from performing actions such as spamming forms, creating fake accounts, or overloading servers. Example: when signing up for an online service, you might be asked to solve a CAPTCHA by selecting all images containing traffic lights. This ensures that only humans can complete the task, blocking bots from automated registration. CAR, that is Corrective Action Report. So CAR, Corrective Action Report, is a document used to identify and resolve issues within a process, system, or product. It outlines the problem, its root cause, and the steps taken to prevent it from happening again in the future. Example: after a security breach in an organization, a CAR may be prepared to document the cause of the breach, that is, outdated software, the corrective action, for example, software updates and employee training, and measures to avoid future breaches, for example, regular patch management. CASB or CASB, that is Cloud Access Security Broker. So CASB or Cloud Access Security Broker is a security solution that sits between users and cloud service providers to monitor and enforce security policies. It helps organizations secure their data, ensure compliance, and protect against threats when using cloud applications. Example: a company uses a CASB to monitor employee access to cloud storage services like Google Drive or OneDrive, ensuring sensitive data is not shared externally without proper authorization. CASBs can also enforce encryption, detect unusual activity, and block access to unapproved cloud applications to enhance security. CBC, that is cipher blockchaining. So CBC cipher blockchaining is a model of operation for block ciphers in cryptography. It encrypts data in fixed sized blocks where each block is XORed with the ciphertext of the previous block before being encrypted. This process adds dependency between blocks, enhancing security. Example: CBC is used in protocols like TLS, older versions, for encrypting data during secure communication. CCMP, that is counter mode CBC-MAC protocol. So CCMP is an encryption protocol used in Wi-Fi security. It is part of the WPA2, that is Wi-Fi Protected Access 2 standard, and provides strong confidentiality, integrity, and authentication. CCMP is based on the AES, that is Advanced Encryption Standard algorithm. Example: CCMP encrypts data transmitted over a Wi-Fi network to protect it from eavesdropping and tampering. CCTV, that is closed circuit television. CCTV is a video surveillance system that uses cameras to transmit video signals to a specific set of monitors or recording devices. Unlike broadcast television, CCTV is a closed system, meaning the footage is only accessible to authorized users. Example: security monitoring. Businesses use CCTV cameras to monitor entrances, exits, and sensitive areas for unauthorized access or theft. Traffic management. Cities use CCTV to monitor traffic flow and enforce traffic laws at intersections. CERT, that is Computer Emergency Response Team. So CERT, Computer Emergency Response Team, is a group of experts responsible for handling and responding to cybersecurity incidents such as malware outbreaks, phishing attacks, or data breaches. They work to mitigate risk, investigate incidents, and develop strategies to prevent future threats. Example: US CERT, that is United States Computer Emergency Readiness Team. This team monitors and responds to national cybersecurity incidents, providing alerts and guidance to organizations. CIA, that is confidentiality, integrity, and availability. So CIA confidentiality, integrity, and availability is a foundational model in cybersecurity that guides the protection of information. It focuses on ensuring that data is secure from unauthorized access, remains accurate and unaltered, and is available when needed. Confidentiality ensures that information is only accessible to those who are authorized to view it. Example: encrypting sensitive data so that only authorized users can read it. Integrity ensures that the information is accurate and has not been tampered with. Example: using hash function to verify that a file has not been modified. Availability ensures that information is accessible and usable when needed. Example: implementing redundancy and backup system to ensure data is accessible even during system failures. CIO, that is Chief Information Officer. So CIO, Chief Information Officer, is an executive responsible for overseeing and managing an organization's information technology strategy and operations. The CIO ensures that IT systems and infrastructure support the business's goals, security, and performance. Example: a CIO in a large corporation may lead initiatives to upgrade the company's software and hardware, improve cybersecurity practices, and ensure that IT aligns with business objectives. In a startup, the CIO might focus on cloud solutions and cost-effective IT management, supporting the company's rapid growth and innovation. CERT, CIRT, Computer Incident Response team. So CIRT, that is Computer Incident Response Team, is a group of IT professionals and cybersecurity experts responsible for responding to and managing security incidents. They are tasked with identifying, investigating, and mitigating the effects of cyber attacks or breaches to minimize damage and recover systems. Example: after a phishing attack, a CIRT might investigate how the attackers gained access, contain the breach, restore affected system, and develop strategies to prevent future incidents. CMS, that is Content Management System. So CMS, that is Content Management System, is a software application that allows users to create, manage, and modify digital content on a website without requiring specialized technical knowledge. It simplifies website management by providing tools for content creation, editing, and publishing. Example: WordPress is a popular CMS that enables individuals and businesses to easily build and manage websites, blogs, and online stores without needing to write code. COOP or COOP, that is Continuity of Operation Planning. So COOP, Continuity of Operation Planning, is a strategy that ensures an organization can continue its critical functions during and after a disaster or disruption. The plan outlines procedures to maintain essential services, recover from crises, and minimize operational downtime. Example: a government agency might have a COOP that includes emergency relocation procedures, backup system for essential records, and communication strategies to ensure continued service during a natural disaster. COOP, that is corporate owned personally enabled. So COOP, that is corporate owned personally enabled, is a mobile device management policy where an organization provides employees with company owned devices that they are allowed to use for both businesses and personal purposes. The devices are typically configured with security measures to ensure data protection while providing employees some flexibility. Example: a company may issue smartphones to employees as part of a COOP strategy, allowing employees to use them for work-related tasks such as email, video conferencing, and access to company applications, while also permitting personal use like browsing or social media, all while enforcing security controls like remote wipe or app management. CP, that is contingency planning. So CP, contingency planning, is the process of developing strategies and procedures to ensure that an organization can continue operating during and after unexpected disruption, such as natural disasters, cyber attacks, or system failures. It involves preparing for potential risks by identifying critical functions and creating plans to recover them. Example: a bank might have a contingency plan that includes backup power supplies, data recovery protocols, and a communication strategy to maintain operations if their primary data center goes offline. CRC, that is cyclical redundancy check. So CRC is an error detecting code used to ensure the integrity of data during transmission or storage. It involves generating a checksum from the data, which is then transmitted along with the data. The receiver recalculates the CRC value and compares it to the transmitted checksum to detect errors. Example: network transmission. When sending files over the internet, a CRC value is calculated for the file and sent along with the data. The recipient computes the CRC of the received data and compares it to the original value to check for the corruption during transmission. CRL, that is Certificate Revocation List. So CRL, that is Certificate Revocation List, is a list of digital certificates that have been revoked by a certificate authority, that is CA, before their expiration date. CRLs are used in public key infrastructure, that is PKI, to ensure that certificates no longer in use or compromised are not trusted for secure communication. Example: a web browser may check the CRL to verify that a website's SSL/TLS certificate is still valid and has not been revoked before establishing a secure connection. CSO, that is Chief Security Officer. CSO, Chief Security Officer, is an executive responsible for overseeing and managing an organization's security strategy, policies, and operations. The CSO ensures the protection of the organization's physical and digital assets, including cybersecurity, physical security, and risk management. Example: a CSO in a large corporation may lead efforts to prevent data breaches, manage cybersecurity incidents, and ensure compliance with security regulations. CSP, that is Cloud Service Provider. So CSP, Cloud Service Provider, is a company or organization that offers cloud computing services, including storage, processing power, software, and other IT resources over the internet. These services allow businesses to scale their infrastructure without maintaining physical hardware. Example: Amazon Web Services, that is AWS, Microsoft Azure, and Google Cloud are popular CSPs that provide services like cloud storage, virtual servers, and machine learning tools. CSR, that is Certificate Signing Request. So CSR, Certificate Signing Request, is a block of encoded text sent to certificate authority when applying for an SSL or TLS certificate. It contains information such as the organization's name, domain name, and public key, which the CA uses to generate the certificate. Example: when setting up a secure website, that is HTTPS, the website owner generates a CSR containing their public key and details about the organization, which is then submitted to a CA like Let's Encrypt or Komodo to obtain an SSL certificate. CSRF, that is Cross-Site Request Forgery. CSRF, that is cross-site request forgery, is a type of attack where a malicious attacker tricks a user into making an unwanted request to a web application that the user is authenticated on. This can lead to action like changing account settings, transferring money, or other actions without the user's consent. Example: if a user is logged in into their online banking account, an attacker could trick the user into clicking a link that initiates a fund transfer from the user's account to the attacker's account using the user's authenticated session. CSU, that is Channel Service Unit. CSU is a device used in telecommunication networks to connect a customer's equipment like a router to a digital circuit, typically a leased line or digital subscriber line, that is DSL. It ensures that the signal quality is maintained and the data is properly transmitted between the customer's premises and the service provider's network. Example: in a T1 line setup, a CSU is used to interface the customer's router with the service provider's digital network, ensuring that the signal is clean and meets the required specification for reliable data transmission. CTM, that is Counter Mode. So CTM counter mode is a mode of operation for block ciphers in cryptography that turns a block cipher into a stream fiber cipher. In CTM mode, a counter is used in conjunction with the block cipher to encrypt data in a way that allows for parallel processing, making it faster than other models like CBC. Example: AES-CTR. When using AES in counter mode, A counter is incremented for each block of data and the encrypted counter value is XORed with the plain text to produce the ciphertext. This method ensures that the same plain text encrypted with the same key will result in different ciphertext due to the changing counter. CTO, that is Chief Technology Officer. So CTO, Chief Technology Officer, is an executive responsible for overseeing the technology strategy and operations within an organization. The CTO ensures that the company's technological infrastructure supports its business goals and innovation. They often lead the development of new technologies, manage IT teams, and align technology solutions with overall business strategies. CVE, that is Common Vulnerability Enumeration. So CVE, Common Vulnerabilities and Exposures, is a system that provides a standardized way of identifying and naming publicly known cybersecurity vulnerabilities and exposures. Each CVE entry is assigned a unique identifier which helps security professionals, researchers, and organizations track and address security issues across various platforms and systems. Example: CVE 2021 34527 is a well known vulnerability in Microsoft Windows Sprint Spooler, which allowed remote code execution. By referencing this CVE, organization could quickly identify the issue and apply patches or mitigations. CVSS, that is Common Vulnerability Scoring System. CVSS, or Common Vulnerability Scoring System, is a standardized framework used to assess the severity of security vulnerabilities in software or systems. CVSS assigns a numerical score from 0 to 10 to a vulnerability based on several factors such as exploitability, impact, and the complexity of an attack, helping organizations prioritize which vulnerabilities to address first. For example, a CVSS score of 9.8 might indicate a critical vulnerability that is easy to exploit and causes significant impact. For example, remote code execution, while a CVSS score of 3.2 might represent a low severity vulnerability with minimal impact and complex exploitation requirements. CYOD, that is Choose Your Own Device. CYD, or Choose Your Own Device, is a policy where employees are allowed to select their own devices such as smartphones, laptops, or tablets from a pre-approved list provided by the organization. The company may subsidize part of the cost, but the employee is responsible for the device's maintenance and use within the company's security guidelines. Example: a company might offer employees a choice of several smartphones or laptops within a certain price range and brand, allowing them to pick the one that suits their preferences while ensuring that it meets the company's security standards, such as the use of encryption and secure access controls. DAC, Discretionary Access Control. DAC, Discretionary Access Control, is a type of access control policy where the owner of a resource, such as a file or system, has the discretion to decide who can access it and what actions they can perform. For example, read, write, and execute. DAC allows users to grant or revoke permissions to other users or groups, typically based on identity or role. Example: in a Windows operating system, a user might own a file and can decide which other users or groups are allowed to access or modify it. The file's owner has the discretion to set permission like read only or full access. DBA, that is Database Administrator. DBA, Database Administrator, is a professional responsible for managing, maintaining, and securing databases within an organization. DBAs ensure that databases are efficient, reliable, and available, handling tasks like database design, backup, recovery, security, and performance tuning. Example, a DBA may manage a MySQL database for an e-commerce company, ensuring that the data is backed up regularly, optimizing the database for faster queries, and implementing access controls to protect sensitive customer information. DDoS, that is distributed denial of service. So this is an attack type. So what is DDoS? DDoS, distributed denial of service, is a cyber attack in which multiple compromised systems, often part of a botnet, are used to flood a target, such as a website or server, with a massive amount of traffic, overwhelming its resources and making it unavailable to legitimate users. Example, during a DDoS attack, a website might become slow or completely inaccessible due to an overwhelming number of requests from thousands or millions of infected devices across the globe. For instance, an online retailer might experience a DDoS attack during a major sale, causing their website to crash and preventing customers from making purchases. DEP, that is data execution prevention. So DEP, data execution prevention, is a security feature that prevents code from being executed in certain regions of memory that are not designated for executable code. It helps protect against attacks where malicious code attempts to execute from non-executable areas such as the stack or heap, which are typically used for data storage. Example, DAP would block a buffer overflow attack where an attacker tries to insert malicious code into the stack and execute it. If the attacker tries to run the code from a non-executable memory region, a DAP will prevent the execution, helping to safeguard against exploits like those used in viruses or worms. DES, that is Digital Encryption Standard. So what is DES? DES, or Data Encryption Standard, is a symmetric key encryption algorithm that was widely used for securing data. It uses a 56-bit key to decrypt data in block of 64 bits. Although DES was considered secure in the past, it is now deemed weak due to advances in computational power and the ability to break the encryption through brute force attack. Example, DES was used in various applications like securing communications in financial transactions or encrypting data stored in databases. For example, DES was commonly used for encrypting data-sensitive information in early online banking systems. DHCP, that is Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol. So DHCP, Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol, is a network management protocol used to automatically assign IP addresses and other network configuration settings such as subnet mask, default gateway, and DNS servers to devices on a network. This eliminates the need for network administrators to manually assign IP addresses to every device. Example, when a device like a laptop or smartphone connects to a network, the DHCP server automatically assigns it an IP address from a predefined pool of available addresses. This makes the process of joining a network seamless and efficient. DHE, that is Diffie-Hellman ephemeral. So DHE, that is Diffie-Hellman ephemeral, is a key exchange algorithm used in cryptography to securely exchange cryptographic keys over a public channel. In DHE, ephemeral refers to the fact that the keys generated during the exchange are temporary and only used for a single session, making the communication more secure by ensuring that keys are not reused. Example, in an HTTPS connection, the DHE can be used to securely establish a shared secret between a client, such as a web browser, and a server. This secret is used to encrypt the session, and because the keys are ephemeral, that is temporary, even if the session keys are compromised later, past communications remain secure. DKIM, that is domain keys identified mail. So DKIM, domain keys identified mail, is an email authentication method used to verify the legitimacy of email messages. It allows the sender to attach a cryptographic signature to an email message, which recipients can use to verify that the email came from the claimed domain and has not been tampered with during transmission. Example, when you send an email, DKIM adds a unique digital signature to the message's header. The recipient's mail server checks this signature against the public key stored in the domain's DNS records. If the signature is valid, it confirms that the email is authentic and has not been altered. DLL, that is Dynamic Link Library. So DLL, Dynamic Link Library, is a type of file that contains code and data that can be used by multiple programs simultaneously. It allows programs to share functionality, reducing the amount of redundant code and saving memory. DLLs contain functions and procedures that applications can call when needed. Example, a DLL might contain functions for handling image processing and different applications like a photo editor or a web browser can call those functions without each application needing to have its own copy of code. DLP, that is data loss prevention. So DLP is a set of technologies, policies, and practices designed to prevent sensitive data from being accessed, leaked, or misused by unauthorized users or systems. It focuses on monitoring and controlling data in use, that is active data, in motion, that is data being transferred, and at rest, that is data stored, to ensure that confidential information is not inadvertently or maliciously exposed. Example, in a company, DLP software can prevent employees from copying sensitive documents to external USB drives or uploading them to unauthorized cloud storage services, thus reducing the risk of data breaches. So DLP usually initially it discovers, then monitors the data exfiltration, and when detected data exfiltration attempt or activity, it prevents it. DMARC, that is domain message authentication reporting and conformance. So DMARC, domain-based message authentication reporting and conformance, is an email authentication protocol that helps protect against email spoofing and phishing. For example, if an attacker tries to send a fake email from a company's domain, DMARC can help prevent the email from being delivered to users by rejecting or flagging it based on the domain owner's policy. DNET, that is Destination Network Address Translation. So DNET, Destination Network Address Translation, is a type of network address translation used to modify the destination IP address of packets as they pass through a router or firewall. DNET is commonly used to forward requests from an external network to an internal server, such as when accessing a web server behind a router. For example, if someone accesses the public IP address of your network on port 80, that is HTTP, DNET could forward that traffic to an internal server's private IP address, that is 192.168 and 1.10, allowing the web server to respond to the request. DNS, that is domain name system. So DNS or domain name system is a system that translates human readable domain names like www.example.com into a machine readable IP addresses, that is like 192.168.1.1 that computers use to identify each other on a network. It essentially acts as the phone book of the internet, enabling users to access websites using easy to remember domain names instead of numerical IP addresses. Example: when you type www.google.com into your browser, a DNS server resolves the domain name to the corresponding IP address, for example 142.250.190.78, allowing your browser to connect to the Google's web server. DOS, that is denial of service. So DOS, denial of service, is a type of cyber attack aimed at disrupting the availability of a network system or service, making it unusable for legitimate users. This is typically achieved by overwhelming the target with a flood of traffic or by exploiting vulnerabilities that cause a system to crash. Example: a DOS attack might involve sending an overwhelming amount of traffic to a website, causing the server to slow down or crash, making the site inaccessible to users. DPO, that is Data Privacy Officer. So DPO, Data Privacy Officer, is a role within an organization responsible for ensuring compliance with data protection laws and regulations, particularly regarding the management and safeguarding of personal data. Example: a DPO in a company ensures that the organization follows appropriate data security measures such as encrypting personal data and conducting regular data protection audits. DRP, that is Disaster Recovery Plan. So DRP, Disaster Recovery Plan, is a set of procedures and policies designed to ensure that an organization can quickly recover from its IT systems, data, and infrastructure in the event of a disaster such as a cyber attack, natural disaster, or system failure. For example, if a data center is affected by a fire, the DRP would guide the company in shifting operations to a backup site, restoring data from off-site backups, and getting the business running again with minimal disruption. DSA, that is Digital Signature Algorithm. So DSA is a cryptographic algorithm used to generate digital signatures for the verification of digital documents, messages, or transactions. It ensures the integrity of the data and proves the authenticity of the signer by generating a signature that can only be validated using the signer's public key. Example: DSA is often used in conjunction with other algorithms like RSA or ECDSA in protocols such as SSL/TLS for secure communication, or in software distribution to ensure that the software packages have not been tampered with. DSL, that is Digital Subscriber Line. So DSL is a high-speed internet connection technology that transmits data over traditional copper telephone lines. DSL allows for both voice and data transmission simultaneously without interfering with phone calls, making it a popular choice for home and small business broadband internet. Example: a user with DSL internet service can use their phone line for voice calls while simultaneously browsing the web at high speeds, typically ranging from 1 Mbps to over 100 Mbps depending on the type of DSL, that is ADSL or VDSL. EAP, that is Extensible Authentication Protocol. So EAP, Extensible Authentication Protocol, is an authentication framework used in computer networks, allowing for multiple types of authentication methods. It is commonly used in wireless networks like Wi-Fi and point-to-point connections, providing flexibility in terms of how user or devices authenticate. For example, EAP is often used in 802.1x authentication, which is a network access control protocol that requires users or devices to authenticate before they can access the network. ECB, that is electronic code book. So ECB, electronic code book, is a mode of operation for block ciphers in cryptography. In ECB mode, the data is divided into fixed sized blocks and each block is encrypted independently using the same key. This makes it a simple and fast encryption method but with significant security vulnerabilities. Example: ECB can be used with encryption algorithms like AES or DAS to encrypt data. However, the major flaw of ECB is that identical plain text blocks will always produce identical ciphertext blocks, making it vulnerable to patterns in the encrypted data. This is a significant weakness, especially when encrypting large amount of data or repetitive information. ECC, that is elliptic curve cryptography. So ECC is a type of public key cryptography based on the algebraic structure of elliptic curves or finite fields. ECC provides a higher level of security with the smaller key sizes compared to traditional algorithms like RSA, making it efficient in terms of computation and storage, especially for mobile devices and environments with limited resources. As we can see in this picture, a key of is n a 256 bits ECC key is as equivalent to 3072 bits key of RSA. It means a smaller key of ECC is as strong as a very large RSA key. So this is why this is used in low power devices such as mobile devices. Example: ECC is commonly used in protocols like SSL/TLS for securing internet communications, digital signatures, and encryption. For instance, ECDSA, that is elliptic curve digital signature algorithm, is used for creating digital signatures in systems like Bitcoin and HTTPS websites. ECDHE, that is elliptic curve Diffie-Hellman ephemeral. So ECDHE, that is elliptic curve Diffie-Hellman ephemeral, is an encryption algorithm used for secure key exchange in cryptographic protocols such as TLS, that is transport layer security. It is based on elliptic curve cryptography and allows two parties to establish a shared secret or an insecure channel without actually sending the secret itself. Example: ECDHE is commonly used in modern TLS implementation for secure web browsing, that is HTTPS. ECDSA, that is elliptic curve digital signature algorithm. So ECDSA is a public key encryption algorithm used for digital signatures based on elliptic curve cryptography. It provides a way to verify the authenticity and integrity of a message or document. Example: ECDSA is widely used in blockchain technology, particularly in Bitcoin transactions. When a Bitcoin transaction is made, the sender uses this private key to generate an ECDSA signature for the transaction. The recipient or any node in the network can then use the sender's public key to verify the authenticity of the transaction before accepting it into blockchain. EFS, that is encrypted file system. So EFS, encrypting file system, is a feature in Microsoft Windows that provides file-level encryption to protect sensitive data stored on a computer. EFS allows users to encrypt individual files or folders so that only authorized users or accounts with the correct decryption key can access the data, ensuring confidentiality even if the device is lost, stolen, or accessed by unauthorized individuals. Example: a user on a Windows system can encrypt a folder containing personal documents with EFS. If someone else gains access to the machine but does not have the user's credentials, they cannot decrypt and read the files, ensuring the data remains protected. ESN, that is electronic serial number. So ESN is a unique identifier assigned to mobile devices such as cellular phones by the manufacturer. The ESN is used by a network carrier to identify and track devices primarily in older 2G and 3G networks. Example, if you buy a used mobile phone, the carrier may check the ESN to ensure that the phone has not been reported as stolen and is compatible with their network before activating it. ESP, that is encapsulated security payload. So ESP, encapsulating security payload, is a protocol used in IPsec, that is Internet Protocol Security, to provide confidentiality, authentication, and integrity for data transmitted over a network. Example, ESP is commonly used in conjunction with IPsec to secure connections over the Internet, such as in site-to-site VPNs or remote access VPNs. FACL, that is File System Access Control List. So FACL is a security feature that defines permissions for files or directories, specifying who can access the resources and what kind of actions they can perform, such as read, write, or execute. Example, in a Linux environment, you could use set FACL and get FACL commands to manage file access control. FDE, that is full disk encryption. So FDE or full disk encryption is a security method that encrypts all the data on a hard drive or storage device, ensuring that the entire disk is protected. Example, BitLocker in Windows and FileVault in macOS are example of FDE solutions. FIM, that is File Integrity Management. So FIM is a broader approach to monitoring and managing the integrity of files, ensuring that they are secure, unaltered, and protected from unauthorized modification. For example, an example tool for FIM is Tripwire, which checks the integrity of files and alerts administrators of changes that may indicate security breaches or configuration issues. FPGA, that is Field Programmable Gate Array. So FPGA Field Programmable Gate Array is a type of integrated circuit that can be programmed or configured after manufacturing to perform specific tasks. Example, telecommunications. In telecom, FPGAs can be programmed to handle specific signal processing tasks such as modulation and demodulation of radio frequencies. FRR, that is false rejection rate. So FRR, false rejection rate, is a metric used in biometric systems such as fingerprint, facial recognition, or iris scanning to measure the percentage of legitimate users who are incorrectly rejected by the system. Example, in a fingerprint recognition system, if 5 out of 100 legitimate users are wrongly rejected, the FRR would be 5%. If this happens too frequently, users might be unable to access their devices or secure areas, which reduces the system's practicality. FTPS, that is Secure File Transfer Protocol. FTPS, File Transfer Protocol Secure, is an extension of the standard FTP, that is File Transfer Protocol, that adds support for encryption and secure connection. FTPS uses SSL/TLS secure socket layer/transport layer security to encrypt data during transfer, ensuring that both the control and data channels are secured. Example, a company using FTPS might transfer financial records or confidential client data over the internet. FTPS ensures that the data is encrypted during the transfer, preventing the interception or tampering by unauthorized parties. GCM, that is Gallios Counter Mode. So GCM, Gallios Counter Mode, is a mode of operation for symmetric key cryptographic block cipher that combines the counter mode for encryption with a Gallios mode for authentication. It provides both confidentiality through encryption and integrity through authentication in a single pass, making it efficient for high performance applications. Example, TLS, that is transport layer security, uses GCM for securing communication over the internet. When a user accesses a secure website, for example, a banking website, GCM ensures that the data transmitted between the user and the server is both encrypted and authenticated, protecting it from eavesdropping and tampering. GDPR, that is General Data Protection Regulation. So GDPR, General Data Protection Regulation, is a comprehensive data privacy and protection law enacted by the European Union to strengthen and unify data protection for all individuals within the EU and the European Economic Area. Example, if an online retailer collects personal information such as email addresses and shipping addresses from EU residents, they must ensure that they comply with GDPR by securing data, obtaining consents for its use, and allowing customers to exercise their data rights. GPG, that is GNU Privacy Guard. GPG, GNU Privacy Guard, is an open source encryption tool used for securing communications, data, and files. It is based on the OpenPGP standard and provide encryption, decryption, and digital signature capabilities. Example, email encryption. When sending sensitive information via email, a user can encrypt the message using the recipient's public key. The recipient can, sorry, let me get back. The recipient can then decrypt the message using their private key, ensuring that only they can read it. GPO, that is Group Policy Object. So GPO, Group Policy Object, is a feature of Microsoft Windows operating system used to manage and configure settings for users and computers in an Active Directory environment. Example, in an organization, a system administrator might use a GPO to enforce a password policy that requires all users to have password of at least 8 characters and to change them every 90 days. GPS, that is Global Positioning System. So GPS, Global Positioning System, is a satellite-based navigation system that provides location and time information anywhere on Earth. Example, navigation in vehicles. GPS is commonly used in car navigation systems. A driver can use GPS to get turn-by-turn directions, real-time traffic updates, and estimated arrival times, ensuring they reach their destination efficiently. GPU, that is Graphics Processing Unit. So GPU, Graphics Processing Unit, also known as graphics card, is a specialized processor designed to accelerate the rendering of images, videos, and animation. Example, gaming. In a video game, the GPU renders the graphics and animations in real time, allowing players to experience immersive environments with smooth graphics and high frame rates. GRE, that is Generic Routing Encapsulation. So GRE, Generic Routing Encapsulation, is a tunneling protocol used to encapsulate a wide variety of network layer protocols into point-to-point connections. It allows the transportation of data packets from one network over another network by creating a virtual tunnel between two endpoints. Example, site-to-site VPN. In a company with offices in different locations, GRE tunnels can be used to connect the offices over the internet, allowing secure communications as if they were directly connected by a physical link. While GRE does not encrypt the data itself, sorry, let me get back. While the GRE does not encrypt the data itself, it can be paired with IPsec to ensure confidentiality of the traffic between the two locations. HA, that is high availability. So HA, high availability, ensures that a system or service remains operational and accessible with minimal downtime even during failures or maintenance. It often involves redundant components and failover mechanisms. For example, a web server cluster uses HA by distributing traffic across multiple servers. So if one server fails, another takes over without interrupting service. HDD, that is hard disk drive. So HDD hard disk drive is a data storage device that uses spinning magnetic disks to store and retrieve digital information. It is commonly used in computers, servers, and other devices for long-term data storage. Example, a 1 TB HDD in a desktop computer stores operating systems, applications, and personal files like documents and photos. HIDS, that is host-based intrusion detection system. So HIDS monitors a single device or host for suspicious activities or policy violations by analyzing logs, file changes, and system behavior. It focuses on detecting attacks specific to that host. Example, an HIDS on a server might alert administrators if unauthorized changes are made to system files or if unusual login attempts are detected. HIPS, that is host-based intrusion prevention system. HIPS, host-based intrusion prevention system, is a security solution installed on individual devices, that is hosts, that not only detects suspicious activities like HIDS, but also actively prevents potential threats by blocking malicious actions in real time. Example, an HIPS on a laptop might block a malicious script trying to modify system files or prevent unauthorized applications from running. HOTP, that is HMAC based one time password. So HMAC based one time password is a one time password algorithm that generates unique time independent password based on a counter and a shared secret key. Each password is valid until it is used. Example, a user logs into an online service using an HOTP token which generates a new one-time password whenever the button is pressed. HSM, that is hardware security module. The HSM hardware security module is a physical device designed to manage, store, and protect cryptographic keys and perform encryption and decryption operations. It provides a secure environment for cryptographic processes, ensuring data confidentiality and integrity. Example, banks use HSMs to securely manage encryption keys for ATM transactions. HTML, that is hypertext markup language. HTML is the standard language used to create and structure content on web pages. It uses tags to define elements like headings, paragraphs, links, images, and tables. Example, a simple HTML code snippet, that is H1 welcome to my website, H1 closed, creates a heading on a web page. HTTP, that is hypertext transfer protocol. So HTTP Hypertext Transfer Protocol is a protocol used for transferring data between a web browser and a web server. It facilitates the loading of web pages by sending requests and receiving responses in plain text. Example, when you enter http colon / example.com in a browser, an HTTP request is sent to the server, which responds with the web page's content. HVAC, that is heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. So HVAC refers to systems that control indoor temperature, air quality, and humidity in buildings to provide comfort and maintain equipment functionality. Example, data centers rely on HVAC systems to keep servers cool and prevent overheating. IaaS, that is infrastructure as a service. So IaaS, infrastructure as a service, is a cloud computing model that provides virtualized computing resources over the internet such as virtual machines, storage, and networking without the need for on-premises hardware. Example, Amazon Web Services, that is AWS, offers IaaS or infrastructure as a service, allowing businesses to rent virtual servers and storage on demand. IAC, that is infrastructure as code. So IAC, infrastructure as code, is a practice in cloud computing where infrastructure is managed and provisioned using code rather than manual processes. It allows developers and operations teams to automate and version control infrastructure setups. Example: using Terraform or AWS Cloud Formation, a company can define and deploy server configurations, networks, and databases automatically by writing code, ensuring consistent and repeatable infrastructure deployments. IAM, Identity and Access Management. IAM, Identity and Access Management, is a framework that manages the identities of users and devices within an organization and controls their access to resources, ensuring that only authorized entities can access specific data or systems. Example: AWS IAM allows administrators to create and manage users and permissions, ensuring that employees have access only to the resources they need to perform their job functions. ICMP, that is Internet Control Message Protocol. ICMP, Internet Control Message Protocol, is a network protocol used to send error messages and operational information about network communication. It helps diagnose network issues and manage data flow. Example: Ping uses ICMP to send echo requests and receive echo replies to test if a device is reachable over a network, as seen here. ICS, that is Industrial Control Systems. ICS, Industrial Control System, refers to systems used to monitor and control industrial processes such as manufacturing, energy production, and water treatment. ICS typically includes hardware and software to automate and optimize operations. Example: SCADA, supervisory control and data acquisition systems, are a type of ICS used to monitor and control large-scale industrial processes like electrical grids or oil pipelines. IDEA, that is International Data Encryption Algorithm. IDEA, or International Data Encryption Algorithm, is a symmetric key block cipher used for encrypting data. It was designed to provide a high level of security while being efficient in hardware and software implementations. Example: IDEA was commonly used in PGP, that is Pretty Good Privacy for Email Encryption. IDF, that is Intermediate Distribution Frame. So IDF, Intermediate Distribution Frame, is a type of equipment used in telecommunications and networking to connect and organize cable between the main distribution frame and various endpoints or devices within a building or campus. Example: in a large office building, an IDF might be located on each floor where it houses switches and patch panels to distribute network connections from the main server room. IDP, that is Identity Provider. IDP, Identity Provider, is a system or service that manages and authenticates user identities and provides access to services or applications. It is a critical component in single sign-on, that is SSO solutions. Example: Google acts as an IDP when users sign into multiple applications like Gmail or YouTube using their Google account credentials. IDS, that is Intrusion Detection System. So IDS, Intrusion Detection System, is a security system that monitors network or system activities for malicious activities or policy violations. It alerts administrators when suspicious activities are detected. Example, a network IDS monitors traffic for unusual patterns such as port scanning or denial of service attacks. IEEE, that is Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers. So IEEE Institute of Electrical and Electronic Engineers is a professional organization that develops and publishes standards for a wide range of industries, including electronics, telecommunication, and computing. Example, the IEEE 802 point, sorry, let me get back. The IEEE 802.11 standard defines the protocol for wireless local area networks, that is WLANs, commonly known as Wi-Fi. IKE, that is Internet Key Exchange. So IKE Internet Key Exchange is a protocol used in VPNs, that is virtual private networks, to establish a secure and authenticated communication channel between two devices. It negotiates the cryptographic parameters to be used in communication and handles the exchange of encryption keys. Example, IKE version 2 is a more secure and efficient version of IKE, often used in IPsec VPNs to provide encryption and secure key exchange between a client and a server. IM, that is instant messaging. IM instant messaging is a form of real-time communication between two or more people over the internet. It allows users to send and receive text messages, multimedia, and files instantly. Example, WhatsApp and Slack are popular IM platforms used for personal and business communication. IMAP, that is Internet Message Access Protocol. So IMAP Internet Message Access Protocol is a protocol used by email clients to retrieve messages from a mail server. Unlike POP3, IMAP allows emails to be stored on the server, enabling access from multiple devices and syncing email actions like reading or deleting across all devices. Example, Gmail uses IMAP to allow users to access their emails on different devices such as phones, tablets, and computers while keeping the inbox synchronized. IOC, that is Indicators of Compromise. IOC indicator of compromise refers to pieces of forensic data such as file hashes, IP addresses, or URLs that can identify potential malicious activity on a network or system. They are used by security teams to detect and respond to cybersecurity threats. Example, an IOC could be an IP address associated with a known botnet which can be used to block malicious traffic in a network. IoT, that is Internet of Things. So IoT, Internet of Things, refers to the network of physical devices that are embedded with sensors, softwares, and other technologies, allowing them to connect and exchange data over the internet. Example, smart thermostats like the Nest can be controlled remotely via a smartphone application, adjusting the temperature in a home based on user preferences and behaviors. IP, that is Internet Protocol. So IP Internet Protocol is a set of rules that govern how data is transmitted over a network. It is responsible for addressing and routing packets of data to their destination. Example, IPv4 uses a 32-bit address format, for example, 192.168.1.1, for identifying devices on a network. IPS, that is Intrusion Prevention System. The IPS Intrusion Prevention System is a security solution that actively monitors network or system traffic for malicious activity and takes action to block or prevent attacks in real time. Example, An IPS can automatically block traffic from an IP address known to be associated with DDoS attack, that is distributed denial of service attack. IPsec, that is Internet Protocol Security. So IPsec, Internet Protocol Security, is a suite of protocols used to secure Internet communications by authenticating and encrypting each IP packet in a communication session. It is commonly used in VPNs to ensure data privacy and integrity. Example: IPsec can be used to create a secure site-to-site VPN, encrypting data traffic between two offices over the Internet. IR, that is Incident Response. So, IR or incident response refers to the process of identifying, managing, and mitigating security incidents or breaches in a system or network. It involves detecting, analyzing, and responding to threats to minimize damage and restore normal operations. Example: a company's IR team might respond to a data breach by isolating affected systems, conducting a forensic investigation, and notifying affected parties. IRC, that is Internet Relay Chat. So IRC, Internet Relay Chat, is an application layer protocol used for real-time text communication over the Internet. It allows users to join channel and send messages to groups or individuals. Example: IRC was widely used in the 1990s and early 2000s for group discussions and file sharing in communities. IRP, that is Incident Response Plane. So IRP, Incident Response Plan, is a documented strategy that outlines how an organization should respond to a cybersecurity incident such as a data breach, malware infection, or unauthorized access to minimize damage and restore normal operations. Example: an IRP might include steps like identifying the incident, containing the threat, eradicating malicious elements, and recovering affected systems. ISO, that is International Standards Organization. So ISO, International Organization for Standardization, is a global body that develops and publishes international standards to ensure the quality, safety, and efficiency of products, services, and systems. Example: ISO 27001 is a widely recognized standard for managing information security risk and implementing a secure information security management system, that is ISMS. ISP, that is Internet Service Provider. So ISP is a company or organization that provides internet access to individuals and businesses. ISPs offer various types of internet connections such as broadband, fiber, and satellite. Example: Comcast and AT&T are popular ISPs that provide internet services to homes and businesses in the US. ISSO, that is Information Systems Security Officer. ISSO or Information System Security Officer is a role within an organization responsible for overseeing and ensuring the security of information system. The ISSO develops, implements, and manages policies, procedures to protect the organization's data and IT infrastructure. Example: an ISSO may work with the IT department to ensure compliance with security regulations such as HIPAA or GDPR. IV, that is initialization vector. So IV initialization vector is a random value used in encryption algorithms to ensure that the same plain text encrypts differently each time, even when the same key is used. It adds an extra layer of security by preventing the repetition of ciphertext patterns. Example: in AES encryption, an IV is used to initialize the cipher before encryption begins. ADC, that is Key Distribution Center. KDC or Key Distribution Center is a server used in network security to authenticate users and distribute encryption keys. It is a central component of the Kerberos authentication protocol, ensuring that both users and services are securely authenticated. Example: in Kerberos authentication, the KDC issues ticket granting tickets to users and service tickets to allow secure access to resources within a network. KEK, that is key encryption key. So KEK, key encryption key, is a key used to encrypt other cryptographic keys, providing an additional layer of security for key management. It helps protect sensitive keys such as data encryption keys during storage or transmission. Example: in a disk encryption system, KE may be used to encrypt the data encryption key, which in turn is used to encrypt the data on the disk. L2TP, that is layer 2 tunneling protocol. So L2TP layer 2 tunneling protocol is a protocol used to create virtual private network, that is VPN connections, by tunneling data between 2 points over the internet. It is often used in conjunction with IPsec to provide encryption and security for the tunnel. Example: L2T/IPsec is commonly used for secure site-to-site VPNs or remote access VPNs where data is tunneled through an encrypted connection between client and server. LAN, that is local area network. So LAN is a network that connects computers and devices within a limited geographical area such as a home, office, or campus. It allows devices to share resources like files, printers, and internet connections. Example: in an office, a LAN might be used to connect all computers, printers, and servers to share files and access the internet through a central router. LEAP or LEAP, that is Lightweight Extensible Authentication Protocol. So LEAP, Lightweight Extensible Authentication Protocol, is a deprecated authentication protocol used in wireless networks to provide secure authentication between a client device and a wireless access point. It was developed by Cisco but has since been replaced by more secure protocols like WPA2. Example: LEAP was commonly used in corporate wireless networks before being replaced by WPA2, that is Wi-Fi Protected Access 2, for better security features. MAC, that is Mandatory Access Control. So MAC, Mandatory Access Control, is a security model where access to resources is regulated based on the classification of the data and the clearance of the user or system. In MAC, security policies are enforced by the system and users cannot change or override them. Example: in a military system, MAC might be used to ensure that only users with the appropriate security clearance can access classified information. Again, MAC, that is Media Access Control. So sorry, so this is the we are talking about the media access control or MAC address, while the explanation is for the mandatory access control. So one MAC is mandatory access control, another is the MAC address, which we all know that is the MAC address of your network card, such as your Wi-Fi card, your Ethernet card, and this is 48 bit, as you can see here. These are hexadecimal number, and this is unique for each device. Third MAC is the message authentication code. So MAC or message authentication code is a cryptographic checksum used to verify the integrity and authenticity of a message. It ensures that the message has not been altered and confirms the sender's identity by using a shared secret key. Example: when sending a secure message, the sender generates a MAC using the message content and a secret key. The receiver can then generate the same MAC and compare it to ensure the message is authentic and unchanged. MAN, that is Metropolitan Area Network. So MAN, Metropolitan Area Network, is a type of network that covers a large geographic area than a local area network but is smaller than wide area network. It typically spans a city or a large campus and is used to connect multiple lanes within that area. Example: a man can connect the offices of a company located in different buildings within a city, allowing for high-speed data transfer between locations. MBR, that is Master Boot Record. So MBR, Master Boot Record, is a special type of boot sector located at the beginning of a storage device, such as a hard drive. It contains information about the partitioning of the disk and the bootloader, which helps load the operating system. Example: the MBR typically stores the partition table, which defines how the storage device is divided into partitions. For example, primary, extended, and logical. MD5, that is Message Digest 5. So MD5 Message Digest 5 is a cryptographic hash function that produces a 1 to 8 bit hash value typically represented as 32 characters hexadecimal number. It is commonly used to verify data integrity, ensuring that files or messages have not been altered. Example: MD5 is often used to generate checksums for files so that users can verify the file's integrity by comparing the calculated hash with the original hash. MDF, that is main distribution frame. So MDF, this is main distribution frame. MDF or main distribution frame is the frame. So again, here is a mismatch. MDF stands for main distribution frame as well as the master database file. So here this explanation is for the master database file. So master MDF or master database file, we will go with this one for this particular slide, is the primary file format used by the Microsoft SQL Server to store database information. It contains the actual data and schema of the database, including tables, views, and indexes. Example: an MDF file is the core file of an SQL Server database and is typically accompanied by LDF files which store transaction logs. MDM, that is Mobile Device Management. So MDM or Mobile Device Management is a set of tools and policies used by organizations to manage and secure employees' mobile devices such as smartphones, tablets, and laptops. It allows IT administrators to control access, enforce security measures, and remotely wipe data if necessary. Example: MDM solutions like Microsoft Intune or VMware AirWatch allows companies to enforce password policies, track device locations, and remotely disable or wipe devices in case of loss or theft. MFA, that is multi-factor authentication. So MFA is a security process that requires users to provide two or more verification factors to gain access to a system, application, or account. It enhances security by combining different type of credentials, such as something the user know, that is password, something the user has, such as a smartphone, or something the user is, such as the biometric data or a fingerprint. Example: a common MFA setup includes a password, that is something you know, and a one-time code sent to your phone, that is something you have. MFD, that is multifunction device. So MFD, multifunction device, refers to a machine or device that combines several functions such as printing, scanning, copying, and faxing into one unit. These devices are commonly used in offices to streamline operations and reduce the need for multiple individual devices. Example: an MFD like the HP LaserJet Pro can print, scan, and copy documents all up from a single machine, saving space and improving efficiency in office environment. MFP, that is multifunction printer. So MFP, multifunction printer, is a type of printer that combines several functions in one device, such as printing, scanning, copying, and sometimes faxing. MFPs are commonly used in offices to increase efficiency and reduce the need for multiple devices. Example, an MFP like the Canon Image Runner can print documents, scan them into digital format, and make copies all from one unit. MMS, that is Multimedia Message Service. MMS Multimedia Message Service is a messaging service that allows users to send multimedia content such as pictures, videos, audios, and text between mobile devices. It is an extension of SMS, that is short message service, which is limited to text only. Example, MMS is commonly used to send photo or video to a friend directly from a smartphone along with a text message. MOA, that is Memorandum of Agreement. So, MOA, Memorandum of Agreement, is a formal document that outlines the terms and conditions agreed upon by two or more parties. It is used to define the roles, responsibilities, and expectations in collaborative projects or partnerships, typically before entering into formal contract. Example, an MOA between two companies might outline how they will collaborate on a new product development project, including resources, allocation, timeline, and financial contributions. MOU, that is Memorandum of Understanding. So, MOU, Memorandum of Understanding, is a formal agreement between two or more parties outlining their intentions to collaborate on a project or initiative. Unlike a contract, it is typically non binding and serves to clarify the roles and responsibilities of each party involved. Example, an MOU between a university and a research company might define their shared goals for a research project, including how resources will be shared and intellectual property managed without legally obligating them to specific actions. MPLS, that is multi protocol label switching. So MPLS, multi-protocol label switching, is a data carrying technique used in high-performance networks to direct data from one network node to another based on short path labels rather than long network addresses. It improves the speed and efficiency of network traffic by simplifying the routing process. Example, MPLS is commonly used by service providers to manage traffic across large scale networks, allowing for faster and more reliable data transmissions. MSA, that is Master Service Agreement. So, MSA is a contract between two parties that establishes the terms and conditions for future services or transactions. It serves as a framework for the relationship, outlining general provisions such as payment terms, confidentiality, and dispute resolution, while leaving the specific details of individual projects or services to be determined later. Example, a company might sign an MSA with a vendor to set the terms for the supply of goods or services over an extended period. Each order or project would then be governed by the MSA, but the specific term, such as delivery dates or quantities, would be detailed in a separate work order or statement of work. MS CHAP, that is Microsoft Challenge Handshake Authentication Protocol. MS CHAP, Microsoft Challenge Handshake Authentication Protocol, is a protocol used for authenticating users in a network, commonly in VPNs or dial up connections. It is an improvement over the older CHAP protocol and provides additional security features such as password encryption. Example, MS-CHAP version 2, an enhanced version of MS-CHAP, is widely used in Windows-based systems for VPN authentication, allowing a user to securely authenticate with a server using a password without sending the password in plain text. MSP, that is Managed Service Provider. So, MSP, Managed Service Provider, is a company that remotely manages and monitors a client's IT infrastructure and end user system, typically through a subscription-based model. MSPs handle services like network management, security, data backup, and help desk support, often providing 24/7 support and proactive maintenance. Example: a small business might hire an MSP to manage its network security and IT systems, allowing the company to focus on its core operations while the MSP handles technical issues and system monitoring. MSSP, that is Managed Security Service Provider. So MSSP, Managed Security Service Provider, is a company that provides outsourced monitoring and management of security services for organizations. MSSPs typically offer services like intrusion detection, firewall management, vulnerability scanning, and incident response to protect against cyber threats. Example: a business might use an MSSP to monitor its network 24/7 for signs of cyber attacks, ensuring quick responses to security breaches and reducing the risk of data loss. MTBF, that is mean time between failures. So MTBF, mean time between failures, is a metric used to measure the average time between the system failures or components breakdown in a machine or system. It is commonly used in reliability engineering to assess the expected operational lifespan of equipment or system. Example: if a hard drive has an MTBF of that much hours, it means that on average the drive is expected to operate for this much hours before it fails. MTTF, that is mean time to failure. MTTF, mean time to failure, is a reliability metric used to estimate the average time a non-reliable component or system will function before it fails. It is typically used for items that are discarded after failure rather than repaired. Example: if a solid state drive, that is SSD, has an MTTF of 2 million hours, it means the drive is expected to function on average for 2 million hours before it fails. MTTR, that is mean time to recover. So MTTR, mean time to recover or mean time to repair, is a metric used to measure the average time it takes to repair a system or component after a failure occurs. It helps assess the efficiency of maintenance and the speed at which system can be restored to operational status. Example: if a server experiences a failure and the MTTR is 4 hours, it means on average the server takes 4 hours to be repaired and return to full functionality. MTU, that is maximum transmission unit. So MTU, or maximum transmission unit, is the largest size of packet that can be transmitted over a network or communication protocol without being fragmented. It is crucial for determining the efficiency and speed of data transfer in a network. Example: in Ethernet network, the standard MTU is 1500 bytes, meaning that packets larger than 1500 bytes are broken into smaller fragments for transmission. NAC, that is Network Access Control. Network access control is a security solution that manages and enforces policies for devices trying to connect to a network. It ensures that only authorized devices with proper security configuration, like updated antivirus software or security patches, are allowed to access the network. Example: NAC can be used to prevent an employee's laptop from accessing the corporate network if it does not have the latest security updates or antivirus protection. NAT, that is Network Address Translation. So, NAT, or Network Address Translation, is a technique used in networking to translate private IP addresses within a local network to a public IP address for communication over the internet. It helps conserve public IP addresses and improve security by hiding internal network details. Example: in a home network, multiple devices like smartphone, laptops share a public IP address assigned by the internet service provider through NAT. When a device sends data to the internet, net ensures that response is routed back to the correct device within the local network. NDA, that is non-disclosure agreement. The NDA non-disclosure agreement is a legal contract that ensures that one party agrees not to disclose confidential information shared by another party. It is often used to protect sensitive business information, trade secrets, or intellectual property. Example: a company may ask employees or partners to sign an NDA to prevent them from sharing proprietary product, design, or customer data with competitors. NFC, that is near field communication. So NFC, near field communication, is a set of communication protocols that enable short range wireless communication between devices, typically within a distance of 4 inches or 10 centimeters. It is commonly used for contactless payments, data sharing, and pairing devices. Example: NFC is used in contactless credit card payments where you simply tap your card or phone near a point of sale terminal to complete a transaction. NGFW, that is next generation firewall. So NGFW, or next generation firewall, is an advanced firewall that goes beyond traditional firewall features by incorporating additional security capabilities such as deep packet inspection, intrusion prevention, application awareness, and control over encrypted traffic. Example: an NG firewall can block specific applications like social media apps or instant messaging services within an organization while allowing other business critical applications. NIDS, that is network based intrusion detection system. The NIDS, Network Intrusion Detection System, is a security system that monitors network traffic for suspicious activities such as potential security breaches, attacks, or malicious behavior. It analyzes data packets on a network to detect anomalies and notify administrators of possible threats. Example: an NIDS might alert security teams if it detects a large volume of traffic from a single IP address, which could indicate a denial of service attack. NIPS, that is Network Based Intrusion Prevention System or Network Intrusion Prevention System. So, NIPS is a security solution that not only detects suspicious activities or potential threats in a network traffic but also actively prevents or mitigates those threats in real time by blocking malicious traffic. Example: an NIPS could automatically block an IP address involved in a brute force attack targeting login credentials, preventing further unauthorized access attempts. NIST, that is NIST, National Institute of Standards and Technology. NIST, that is National Institute of Standards and Technology, is a US government agency responsible for developing and promoting standards, guidelines, and best practices to enhance the security and reliability of technology, including cybersecurity. Example: NIST publishes the NIST Cybersecurity Framework, that is CSF, a set of guidelines that help organizations manage and reduce cybersecurity risk. NTFS, that is New Technology File System. So NTFS, or New Technology File System, is a file system developed by Microsoft for use with Windows operating systems. It provides features like file permissions, encryption, disk quotas, and improved metadata support, making it more secure and reliable than older file systems like FAT32. Example: NTFS allows users to set file permissions so only authorized users can access or modify certain files. NTP, that is Network Time Protocol. NTP, or Network Time Protocol, is a protocol used to synchronize the clocks of computers and devices over a network. It ensures that all devices in a network have the correct time, which is crucial for logging events, coordinating tasks, and securing communications. Example: NTP is commonly used in enterprise environments to keep all servers and workstations synchronized to a reliable time source such as an atomic clock or GPS. OCSP, that is Online Certificate Status Protocol. So OCSP, Online Certificate Status Protocol, is a protocol used to check the revocation status of digital certificates in real time. It provides a way for users and systems to verify whether a certificate, typically an SSL/TLS certificate, is still valid or has been revoked by the certificate authority, that is CA. Example: when a user accesses a website using HTTPS, the browser may use OCSP to check whether the website's SSL certificate has been revoked before establishing a secure connection. OID, that is Object Identifier. OID Object Identifier is a unique identifier used in various contexts like networking, security, and directory services to reference specific objects, attributes, or values. It is commonly used in standards like SNMP, that is Simple Network Management Protocol, and X.500 directories to uniquely identify items. Example: in LDAP, that is Lightweight Directory Access Protocol, OIDs are used to uniquely identify attributes such as email or telephone number within a directory service schema. OSINT, that is Open Source Intelligence. So OSINT or Open Source Intelligence refers to the process of collecting information from publicly available sources such as websites, social media, news outlets, and government publications. It is often used by security analysis, research, and threat intelligence. Example: a security team might use OSINT to gather information about potential cyber threat actor by analyzing their social media profiles or posts on forums. OSPF, that is Open Shortest Path First. The OSPF Open Shortest Path First is a link state routing protocol used to find the best path for data transmission within an IP network. It is commonly used in large enterprise networks to determine the most efficient route for data packets based on the network's topology. Example: in a corporate network, OSPF helps routers dynamically exchange information about network paths so they can adapt to changes like new routers or link failures. OT, that is Operational Technology. OT, operational technology, refers to hardware and software systems used to monitor and control physical processes, devices, and infrastructure in industries like manufacturing, energy, transportation, and utilities. Example: OT includes systems like SCADA, supervisory control and data acquisition, used in power plants to control and monitor operations, or PLC, that is programmable logic controllers, used to automate factory machinery. OTA, that is over the air. So OTA or over the air refers to the method of wirelessly transmitting data or updates to devices like smartphones, vehicles, or IoT devices. It is commonly used for software updates, configuration changes, or the installation of new features without needing physical connections. Example: OT updates are used by smartphone manufacturers to send operating system updates directly to users' devices, eliminating the need for manual downloads or connections to a computer. OVAL, that is Open Vulnerability Assessment Language. So OVAL, that is Open Vulnerability and Assessment Language, is an open standard used for defining and sharing information about security vulnerabilities and system configurations. It helps automate the process of identifying, managing, and reporting security vulnerabilities in software and hardware systems. Example: OVAL is used in security scanning tools to detect vulnerabilities across various systems, such as identifying outdated software version or misconfigured security changes. P2P, that is peer-to-peer. So P2P, that is peer-to-peer, is a decentralized network model where devices, that is peers, communicate and share resources directly with each other without the need for a central server or intermediary. Example, P2P is used in file sharing applications like BitTorrent, where users download and upload files directly from each other's devices. PaaS, that is platform as a service. So PaaS is a cloud computing model that provides a platform allowing customers to develop, run, and manage applications without worrying about underlying infrastructure. It includes tools for development, testing, and deployment. Example, PaaS providers like Google App Engine or Microsoft Azure allow developers to build applications and deploy them on the cloud without managing servers or networking. PAC, that is proxy auto configuration. So PAC or proxy auto configuration refers to a method of automatically configuring network settings or devices based on proximity or location. This can be used for tasks like connecting devices to specific networks or adjusting settings when they are near a particular location, a particular physical location such as an office or home network. Example, PEC might automatically connect a laptop to a company's secure Wi-Fi network when it is in proximity to the office. PAM, that is Privileged Access Management. So PAM or Privileged Access Management is a security practice for controlling and monitoring access to critical systems and sensitive data by users with elevated privileges. It helps prevent misuses. It helps prevent misuse by limiting access rights and providing auditing capabilities. Example, a PAM solution may require administrators to use a secure vault to retrieve privileged credentials and log all actions performed during the session. Again, PAM, that is pluggable authentication modules. So PAM or pluggable authentication modules is a framework that allows Linux and Unix systems to integrate various authentication methods flexibly. It enables administrators to configure and manage authentication policies without modifying applications. Example, a system using PAM can authenticate users with a fingerprint scanner, password, or smart card depending on the configuration. PAP, that is Password Authentication Protocol. So PAP or Password Authentication Protocol is a simple unencrypted authentication method that sends username and password over a network in plain text. It is considered insecure because credentials can be easily intercepted. Example, PAP might be used in older dial-up networks but is rarely used today due to more secure alternatives like CHEP or EAP. PAT, that is Port Address Translation. So PAT, Port Address Translation, is a type of NAT, that is Network Address Translation, that allows multiple devices on a local network to share a single public IP address by assigning different port numbers to each connection. It helps conserve public IP addresses and manage traffic efficiently. Example, a home router using PAT enables multiple devices such as laptops and phones to browse the internet simultaneously while appearing as a single IP address to external websites. PBKDF2, that is Password Based Key Derivation Function 2. So PBKDF2, Password Based Key Derivation Function 2, is a cryptographic algorithm used to strengthen passwords by repeatedly hashing them with a salt. It makes brute force attacks more difficult by increasing the computational cost of guessing passwords. Example, PBKDF2 is commonly used to secure passwords in systems like Wi-Fi Network 2, that is WPA2, or encrypted file storage. PBX, that is Private Branch Exchange. So PBX, Private Branch Exchange, is a private telephone network used within an organization to manage internal and external phone calls. It allows features like call routing, voicemail, conferencing, and call transfers. Example, a company's PBX system connects employee phones and handles calls to customers without requiring a separate phone line for each desk. PCAP, that is packet capture. So packet capture is a file format or method used to capture and store network packet data for analysis. It helps in diagnosing network issues, monitoring traffic, and investigating security incidents. Example, a network administrator might use a tool like Wireshark to capture packets in PCAP format and analyze them for signs of malware or unusual traffic patterns. PCI DSS, that is Payment Card Industry Data Security Standard. So PCI DSS, Payment Card Industry Data Security Standard, is a set of security standards designed to ensure that all companies processing, storing, or transmitting credit card information maintain a secure environment. It helps protect cardholder data from theft and fraud. Example, a retail store must comply with PSI DSS by encrypting cardholder data and using firewalls to secure their payment systems. PDU, that is Power Distribution Unit. So PDU, basically here this acronym, it also stands for Power Distribution Unit, but here the PDU stands for Protocol Data Unit, as also depicted in the picture. So PDU, or Protocol Data Unit, is a unit of data transmitted over a network that includes both the payload, that is actual data, and the header, that is control information. The structure of a PDU varies depending on the layer of the OSI model in which it operates. Example, in the transport layer, a PDU is called a segment in TCP, while in the data link layer, it's called a frame. PED, that is Personal Electronic Device. So PED, Personal Electronic Device, refers to portable electronic devices such as smartphones, tablets, and laptops that individuals use for personal or professional purposes. These devices often have computing power, storage, and connectivity features. Example, a smartphone or a tablet used for personal communication, browsing, or work tasks is considered a PED or PAD. PAM or PEM, that is Privacy Enhanced Mail. So PAM, Privacy Enhanced Mail, is a file format used for encoding cryptographic data such as certificates, public keys, and private keys. It uses base64 encoding and is often used in SSL/TLS certificates. Example, a server's SSL certificate might be saved in a PAM file with the extension .pam and used to establish secure HTTPS connections. PFS, that is Perfect Forward Secrecy. Sorry, this explanation is not for PFS. So PFS is basically used in VPN, particularly in IPsec, site-to-site VPN. And this is a technique to secure the data as well as the prevent the data from replay attacks. PGP, that is Pretty Good Privacy. So PGP, or Pretty Good Privacy, is an encryption and decryption program used to secure mail communication and files. It uses a combination of symmetric and asymmetric encryption, providing privacy, authentication, and data integrity. Example, a user can encrypt an email using PGP, ensuring that only the recipient with the correct private key can decrypt and read the message. PHI, that is Personal Health Information. So PHI, that is personal or protected health information, refers to any health related information that can identify an individual and is protected under laws like HIPAA, that is Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act. This includes medical records, health histories, and other personal health data. Example: a patient's medical chart, which includes their diagnosis, treatment history, and personal details, is considered PHI and must be securely handled. PII, that is personally identifiable information. So PII or personally identifiable information refers to any information that can be used to identify an individual either directly or indirectly. This includes data such as names, addresses, phone numbers, social security numbers, and email addresses. Example: a customer's name and email address collected during an online purchase are considered PII and must be protected to prevent identity theft or privacy violations. PIV, that is personal identity verification. So PIV or personal identity verification is a standard for government issued identification cards used to verify an individual's identity. These cards contain biometric data, a digital certificate, and other information to enhance security for access control. Example: US federal employees use PIV cards to access secure government systems, ensuring that only authorized individuals can gain access. PKCS, that is Public Key Cryptography Standards. So PKCS, Public Key Cryptography Standards, is a set of cryptographic standards developed to promote the use of public key cryptography. These standards define how keys, certificates, and encryption techniques should be formatted and used for secure communication. Example: PKCS number 12 is a popular standard for storing and transporting user or server certificates along with their private keys, often used for SSL/TLS configurations. PKI, that is Public Key Infrastructure. PKI public key infrastructure is a framework that uses pairs of cryptographic keys, public and private, to secure communications, verify identities, and manage digital certificates. It provides the tools for encryption, digital signatures, and certificate authorities, that is CS, to issue and manage certificates. Example: PKI is used in SSL/TLS certificates to secure websites, ensuring that data transmitted between a user and a site is encrypted and authentic. POP, that is Post Office Protocol. So POP or Post Office Protocol is an email protocol used to retrieve messages from a mail server to a local device. It typically downloads email to the client and removes them from the server, making them accessible offline. Example: a user may configure their email client to use POP to download messages from their email provider's server, storing them locally on their computer. POTS, that is plain old telephone service. So POTS or plain old telephone service refers to the traditional analog telephone service that uses copper wires to transmit voice communication. It is the standard telephone service that has been in use for many decades before the advent of digital technologies. Example: a landline telephone using a copper wire for voice calls is an example of POTS. PPP, that is point-to-point protocol. So PPP, point-to-point protocol, is a data link layer protocol used to establish a direct connection between two networking devices over serial links, such as phone lines or leased lines. It provides authentication, encryption, and compression for secure communication. Example: PPP is commonly used in dial-up internet connections to establish and manage communication between a user's computer and an internet service provider. PPTP, that is point-to-point tunneling protocol. PPTP, that is point-to-point tunneling protocol, is a network protocol used to create VPN, that is virtual private network tunnels, enabling secure connections over the internet. It encapsulates data in a secure tunnel, though it is considered outdated and less secure compared to newer protocols like L2TP or OpenVPN. Example, PPTP might have been used to allow remote workers to securely access a company's internal network over the internet, though it is now largely replaced by more secure options. PSK, that is pre-shared key. So PSK, pre-shared key, is a shared secret used for authentication in wireless networks or VPNs. It is a password or passphrase used to both the known to both the client and the server, used to establish a secure connection. Example, a Wi-Fi network might use a PSK where the same password is entered on both the router and the devices connecting to the network. PTZ, that is pan, tilt, zoom. So PTZ, pan, tilt, zoom, refers to a type of camera that can be remotely controlled to pan, that is move horizontally, tilt, that is move vertically, and zoom in or out. It is commonly used in surveillance and video conferencing systems to adjust the camera's field of view. Example, a security camera in a parking lot with PTZ capabilities can be controlled to zoom in on a specific area or move to different positions to monitor activity. PUP, that is potentially unwanted program. So PUP, potentially unwanted program, refers to software that may not be malicious but can negatively affect the performance of a computer or be undesirable to the user. PUPs are often bundled with other software or come from untrustworthy sources. Example, a free software installer may include a PUP that slows down the system or shows unwanted ads, even though it is not classified as malware. RA, that is recovery agent. So RA, or recovery agent, is a designated individual or system responsible for managing the recovery of encrypted data. In a public key infrastructure, that is PKI system, a recovery agent can decrypt files if the original encryption key is lost or unavailable. Example, in an organization, a recovery agent might have access to recovery keys to decrypt files encrypted by employees using a file encryption system, ensuring access in case of key loss. Again, RA, that is registration authority. So RA also stands for recovery agent and registration authority. So RA, registration authority, is a component of a public key infrastructure, that is PKI, that verifies the identity of users or devices requesting digital certificates. It acts as an intermediary between the user and the certificate authority, that is CA, handling the registration and approval process. Example, when a user requests a digital certificate for secure email, the RA checks the user's credential before forwarding the request to the CA for certificate issuance. RACE, or RACE, that is Research and Development in Advanced Communications Technologies in Europe. So RACE, or Research and Development in Advanced Communications Technologies in Europe, was a European initiative focused on advancing communication technologies, particularly in the areas of broadband networks, mobile communications, and data transmission. It aimed to promote research, development, and collaboration between European countries. Example, the RACE program contributed to the development of technologies that eventually led to the advancement of modern telecommunications, including innovation in mobile and internet. RAD, or RAD, that is Rapid Application Development. So RAD, or Rapid Application Development, is a software development methodology that emphasizes quick prototype and user feedback over lengthy development cycles. It aims to accelerate the creation of applications by using iterative development and reducing planning and design phases. Example, in RAID, developers might quickly build a prototype of a mobile application, get feedback from users, and make adjustments, speeding up the development process compared to traditional methods. Radius, that is remote authentication dial-in user service. So Radius or remote authentication dial-in user service is a protocol used for authentication, authorization, and accounting, that is AAA in network access. It is commonly used to manage user access to internet services, VPNs, and wireless networks by verifying user credential and ensuring proper access permission. Example, a Wi-Fi router might use Radius to authenticate users before granting access to the network, ensuring only authorized devices can connect. RAS or RAS, that is Remote Access Service. So RAS or Remote Access Service is a service that allows remote users to connect to a network or system, typically over a phone line, VPN, or other remote connectivity options. It enables access to resources like files, applications, and email from remote locations. Example, a company's REST server lets employees securely access the company's internal network from home or while traveling using a VPN or dial-up connection. RAT, that is Remote Access Trojan. So RAT or Remote Access Trojan is a type of malicious software that allows an attacker to gain remote control over an infected computer. It enables unauthorized access to a system often used for spying, stealing data, or launching further attacks. Example, a hacker might use a RAT to access a victim's computer, capture screenshots, log keystrokes, and steal sensitive information without the user's knowledge. RBAC, that is role-based access control. So RBAC or role-based access control is a security model that restricts system access based on users' roles within an organization. Each role has specific permissions and users are assigned to roles limiting their access to only the resources necessary for their task. Example, in a company, an employee in the HR department might have access to employee records, while someone in IT may have access to network settings, but neither can access the other's data. Again, RBAC, this time RBAC stands for Rule-Based Access Control. So RBAC, that is rule-based access control system, is a security model that grants access to resources based on a set of rules rather than directly assigning permissions to users or roles. It allows for more fine-grained control using policies or conditions to determine access based on attributes such as time, location, or other criteria. Example, a rule might specify that a manager can access certain financial data only during business hours, or a user can access specific server only from a company network. RC4, that is Rivest Cipher version 4. So RC4 or Rivest Cipher 4 is a stream fiber that uses a variable length key to encrypt data. It was widely used due to its simplicity and speed, but is now considered insecure due to vulnerabilities that allow attackers to decrypt data. Example, RC4 were once used in protocols like SSL and TLS for encrypting web traffic, but has been replaced by more secure algorithms like AES due to its weaknesses. RDP, that is Remote Desktop Protocol. So RDP or Remote Desktop Protocol is a proprietary protocol developed by Microsoft that allows users to connect to and control a remote computer or a network. It provides a graphical interface for users to interact with desktop for the remote system. Example, a system administrator might use RDP to remotely manage a server, accessing its desktop interface as if they were physically present at the machine. RFID, that is radio frequency identifier. So RFID is a technology that uses radio waves to identify and track objects, animals, or people with an RFID tag. These tags contain data that can be read by RFID readers without needing direct contact. Example, an RFID tag in a library book allows for automatic checkout and inventory management without the need for manual scanning of each item. RIPEMED or RIPEMED, that is Race Integrity Primitives Evaluation Message Digest. So RIPEMD or Race Integrity Primitive Evaluation Message Digest is a cryptographic hash function designed for secure message integrity. It produces fixed size outputs, commonly 128, 160, 256, or 320 bits, and is often used in digital signatures or blockchain technology. An example of RIPE-MD in action is its use in Bitcoin blockchain for creating addresses. Specifically, Bitcoin employs RIPE-MD-160 as part of its address generation process. ROI, that is return on investment. So ROI or return on investment is a financial metric used to evaluate the profitability or effectiveness of an investment. It is calculated by dividing the gain or loss from the investment by the initial cost of the investment, typically expressed as a percentage. Example, if a company invests $10,000 in a marketing campaign and generates 15,000 USD in revenue, the ROI is 50%, that is 5,000 profit out of 10,000 investment. RPO, that is recovery point objective. So RPO, recovery point objective, is a metric used in disaster recovery and business continuity planning that defines the maximum acceptable amount of data loss measured in time. It indicates the point in time to which data must be restored after a disruption. Example, if a company has an RPO of 4 hours, it means that in event of a disaster, the company can afford to lose no more than 4 hours of data. RSA, that is Rivest, Shamir, and Edelman. So RSA, Rivest, Shamir, Edelman is an asymmetric cryptographic algorithm used for secure data transmission. It relies on the mathematical difficulty of factoring large prime numbers and is commonly used for encrypting data and digital signatures. Example, RSA is used in protocols like HTTPS to secure communication between web browser and servers, ensuring that sensitive data such as password and credit card details are transmitted securely. RTBH, that is remotely triggered black hole. So RTBH or remotely triggered black hole is a network security technique used to block traffic from specific IP addresses or range during a DDoS or distributed denial of service attack. When activated, RTBH directs malicious traffic to a black hole or null route, preventing it from reaching the target. Example, during a DDoS attack, a network administrator might use RTBH to drop incoming malicious traffic, ensuring that the targeted server remains functional for legitimate users. RTO, that is recovery time objective. So RTO or recovery time objective is a metric used in disaster recovery and business continuity planning that defines the maximum acceptable amount of time it should take to restore a system, service, or process after a disruption. It helps organizations set recovery priorities. Example, if a business has an RTO of 2 hours, it means the organization aims to restore critical systems within 2 hours after a failure to minimize downtime and business impact. RTOS, that is real-time operating system. So RTOS or real-time operating system is an operating system designed to process data and respond to inputs within a specific time frame, often with strict timing constraints. It ensures that high priority tasks are executed in a timely manner, making it suitable for systems that require immediate processing, like embedded systems. Example, an RTOS is used in applications like automotive safety systems, where a delay in processing sensor data could result in failure to trigger safety measures like airbags. RTP, that is real-time transport protocol. So RTP, or real-time transport protocol, is a network protocol used to deliver audio and video data in real time over the internet. It ensures smooth streaming by handling timing and sequencing and payload format for multimedia. Example, RTP is used in video conferencing applications like Zoom or Skype to transmit live audio and video stream. S/MIME, that is secure multipurpose internet mail extensions. So SMIME, or secure multipurpose internet mail extension, is a protocol for securing mail communication by providing encryption, authentication, and message integrity. It uses digital certificates to ensure the sender's identity and encrypts the email content to protect it from unauthorized access. Example, businesses use SMIME to send confidential emails securely, ensuring only intended recipient can read the message. SaaS, that is software as a service. So SaaS, or software as a service, is a cloud computing model where software is delivered over the internet and accessed via a web browser without needing installation on local devices. Users pay for it through subscriptions and benefit from automatic updates and scalability. Example, Gmail, Microsoft 365, and Salesforce are popular SaaS applications. SAE, that is simultaneous authentication of equals. So SAE, or simultaneous authentication of equals, is a secure password-based authentication protocol used in wireless networks, particularly in WPA3. It prevents attacks from capturing passwords through offline brute force attacks by using a secure handshake. Example, SAE ensures a strong and secure Wi-Fi connection by protecting user credentials during the authentication. SAML, that is Security Assertion Markup Language. So SAML, that is Security Assertion Markup Language, is an open standard for exchanging authentication and authorization information between an identity provider and a service provider. It enables single sign-on such as SSO, allowing users to log in once and access multiple applications securely. Example, logging into a company's HR portal using SAML SSO with your corporate credentials. SAN, that is storage area network. So SAN, a storage area network, is a high-speed dedicated network that connects servers to storage devices such as disk arrays or tape libraries. SANs are designed to provide block-level storage, enabling servers to access and use storage as if it were locally attached, but with the flexibility of centralized management. Example, a company runs a data center hosting virtual machines. By using a SAN, it provides shared storage to all virtual machines, ensuring high availability and fast failover in case of server issues. Again, SAN, and that SAN stands for Subject Alternative Name. So SAN, or Subject Alternative Name, is a field in an SSL/TLS certificate that allows multiple domain names, subdomains, or IP addresses to be secured by a single certificate. This helps simplify certificate management for organizations with multiple domains or services. Example, a SAN certificate can secure example.com, that is www.example.com, and mail.example.com all at once. SaaS, that is Secure Access Service Edge. So SaaS or Secure Access Service Edge is a cybersecurity framework that combines networking and security functions like SD-WAN, firewall, and secure web gateways into a unified cloud service. It provides secure access to applications and data regardless of the user's location. Example, a company using SaaS can securely connect remote employees to cloud-based applications without relying on traditional VPNs. SCADA, that is Supervisory Control and Data Acquisition. So SCADA or Supervisory Control Data Acquisition is a system used to monitor and control industrial processes such as those in manufacturing, energy, and utilities. It collects real-time data from sensors and devices, allowing operators to control systems remotely and ensure everything is functioning properly. Example, SCADA systems are used to manage and monitor power grids, water treatment plants, and oil pipelines. SCAP, that is Security Content Automation Protocol. So SCAP or Security Content Automation Protocol is a set of standards used to automate the process of assessing, monitoring, and managing the security posture of computer systems. It allows security tools to communicate and share data in a standardized format for vulnerability management, configuration compliance, and patch management. Example, SCAPE is used by organizations to automate security scans and ensure systems comply with security benchmarks like those from the National Institute of Technology, from the National Institute of Standard and Technology, NIST. SECP or SCAP, that is Simple Certificate Enrollment Protocol. So SCAP or Simple Certificate Enrollment Protocol is a protocol used to automate the process of issuing and managing digital certificates for devices in a network. It simplifies the process of obtaining and renewing certificates, especially for large-scale environments. Example, SCAPE is often used in enterprise environments to manage certificates for mobile devices, ensuring secure communication through encrypted connections. SD-WAN, that is Software Defined Wide Area Network. So SD-WAN is a technology that uses software to manage and optimize wide area network, that is WAN traffic over a variety of connection types such as MPLS, broadband, and LTE. It allows businesses to reduce cost and improve performance by directing traffic based on application priority, real-time conditions, and security policies. For example, SD-WAN can route voice and data traffic over the best available path to ensure quality while sending less critical data over low-cost internet connection. SDK, that is Software Development Kit. So SDK or Software Development Kit is a collection of tools, libraries, documentation, and sample code that developers use to create software applications for a specific platform, system, or framework. It simplifies the development process by providing pre-built functions and resources. Example, the Android SDK allows developers to create Android applications, allowing tools for testing, debugging, and accessing Android device features. SDLC, that is Software Development Life Cycle. So SDLC or Software Development Life Cycle is a structured process used by developers to design, build, test, and maintain software applications. It involves several stages such as planning, analysis, design, implementation, testing, deployment, and maintenance. Example, in SDLC, the testing phase ensures that the software works correctly before it is released to users. SDLM, that is Software Development Lifecycle Methodology. So SDLM or Software Development Lifecycle Methodology refers to the approach or framework used to plan, create, test, and deploy software. It includes various models that guide the development process, ensuring that all necessary stages are followed systematically. Example, In an agile SDLM, development teams work in sprints to release software feature incrementally, allowing for feedback and adjustments along the way. SDN, that is software defined networking. So SDN or software defined networking is a network architecture that separates the control plane, that is network management, from the data plane, that is data forwarding. It allows network administrators to manage, configure, and optimize network resources dynamically and programmatically using software applications instead of relying on traditional hardware configuration. Example: SDN enables a data center to quickly adapt to changing traffic loads by adjusting network paths and bandwidth allocation in real time, improving efficiency and flexibility. SE Linux, that is Security Enhanced Linux. So SE Linux or Security Enhanced Linux is a security model for Linux that provides mandatory access control to restrict how processes and users interact with system resources. It enforces security policies that limit the potential damage from vulnerabilities by controlling access to files, directories, and other system components based on rules. Example: SE Linux can prevent an application from accessing sensitive files even if it is compromised by enforcing strict policies on what the application is allowed to do. SED, that is self-encrypting drives. So SED or self-encrypting drives is a type of storage device that automatically encrypts all data written to it without requiring additional software or user intervention. SEDs use hardware-based encryption, which offers a high level of security and performance compared to software-based encryption method. The encryption key is stored on the drive itself, and data is automatically encrypted when accessed by an authorized user. Example: a laptop with an SED would automatically encrypt files as they are saved to the drive, ensuring that data remains secure even if the device is lost or stolen. SEH, that is Structured Exception Handler. So HEH or structure exception handling is a mechanism in programming, particularly in Windows, that provides a way to handle runtime errors or exceptional conditions in a controlled manner. It allows programs to respond to unexpected events like division by zero or accessing invalid memory without crashing by using exception handlers that can catch and resolve or log the issue. For example, in a C++ program, SEH allows a developer to use _try and _except blocks to handle exceptions like accessing a null pointer or out of bounds array access. SFTP, that is Secure File Transfer Protocol. SFTP, Secure File Transfer Protocol, is a network protocol used to securely transfer files or a secure connection, typically using SSH, that is Secure Shell. It provides encryption for both the data being transferred and the authentication process, making it safer than traditional FTP. Example: using SFTP, you can securely upload or download files to a remote server. SHA, that is Secure Hashing Algorithm. So SHA or Secure Hashing Algorithm is a family of cryptographic hash functions used to generate fixed-sized hash value or digest from input data of arbitrary size. SHA is commonly used for data integrity, digital signatures, and password hashing, ensuring that even small changes in input produce vastly different hash outputs. Example: SHA-256, part of the SHA family, is widely used in Bitcoin for transaction verification and in security protocols like TLS. SHTTP, that is Secure Hypertext Transfer Protocol. So SHTTP Secure Hypertext Transfer Protocol is an outdated protocol designed to provide secure communication over a web similar to HTTPS. It aimed to encrypt only the content of web pages, ensuring that sensitive information such as password or credit card numbers was transmitted securely. However, it has been largely replaced by HTTPS, which offers stronger encryption and broader security features. Example: SHTTP was once used in some early secure web applications, but today HTTPS is the standard for secure web communication. SIEM or SIEM, that is Security Information and Event Management. So SIEM, Security Information and Event Management, is a security solution that combines real-time monitoring, event logging, and analysis to detect, investigate, and respond to security threats in a network. It collects and correlates data from various sources like firewall, server, and applications to identify suspicious activity and help with compliance reporting. Example: a SIEM system might alert security teams to unusual login attempts or unauthorized access to sensitive data, helping to prevent potential breaches. SIM, that is Subscriber Identity Module. So SIM stands for Subscriber Identity Module, and it is a small card used in mobile devices that securely stores a user's subscriber information, including their phone number, authentication keys, and network access information. It allows the device to connect to mobile networks and provides security features such as encryption for communication. Example: in smartphones, the SIM card ensures that a user can make calls, send messages, and use mobile data by identifying them on the network. SLA, Service Level Agreement. So SLA, Service Level Agreement, is a formal contract between a service provider and a customer that outlines the expected level of service, including performance metrics, response times, and responsibilities. It helps ensure that both parties agree on the quality and scope of the service to be provided. Example: an SLA between a cloud service provider and a business might specify a guaranteed uptime of 99.9% and a maximum response time of 4 hours per support request. Let's move forward to the next acronym, and it is SLE. So SLE is basically single loss expectancy. ALE is annual loss expectancy, and SLE is single loss expectancy. So SLE, single loss expectancy, is a risk management term used to estimate the potential financial loss from a single security incident or event. It represents the monetary value that could be lost if a specific threat or risk occurs once. Example: if a company's server is damaged by a fire and the cost to replace it is $50,000, the SLE for the server would be $50,000. SMS, and SMS stands for Short Message Service. So SMS, or Short Message Service, is a text messaging service used to send short written messages between mobile devices. It is widely used for personal communication as well as for sending notifications and alerts from businesses or services. Example: an example of SMS is receiving a text message from a bank alerting you to a suspicious transaction on your account. SOAP, or SOAP, that is Simple Object Access Protocol. So SOAP or Simple Object Access Protocol is a protocol used for exchanging structured information in web services. It relies on XML to encode the messages and typically operates over HTTP or SMTP for communication between a client and server. Example: SOAP is used in enterprise applications where systems need to communicate securely, such as sending data between a bank server and an online payment processing system. SOAR, SOAR, that is Security Orchestration, Automation, and Response. So SOAR, Security Orchestration, Automation, and Response, is a set of technologies that help security teams automate and streamline their response to security incidents. SOAR platforms integrate various security tools and processes, enabling automated workflows, faster decision making, and more efficient incident management. Example: a source system can automatically collect data from various security tools, assess the severity of an incident, and trigger predefined actions like blocking an IP or notifying an analyst, reducing manual intervention and improving response times. SOC or SOC. So there are two SOCs. This one is with small o. This is system on chip or system on a chip. The other one with follow, which is with the capital O. So this one, a system on chip or SOC, is an integrated circuit that consolidates all essential components of a computing system into a single chip. It typically includes a processor, memory input output ports, and sometimes specialized components like GPUs or wireless modules designed for specific tasks. Example: the Apple A16 Bionic chip in iPhones is an SoC or system on chip that integrates a CPU, GPU, neural engine, and memory controller, enabling seamless performance for tasks like gaming, photography, and machine learning. Again, SOC, and this one is with capital O, and this SOC stands for Security Operations Center. So SOC or Security Operations Center is a centralized unit responsible for monitoring. Sorry, let me get back. So SOC or Security Operations Center is a centralized unit responsible for monitoring, detecting, responding to, and managing security threats and incidents within an organization's IT infrastructure. It is staffed with security experts who use various tools and techniques to ensure the organization's networks and data are protected. Example: a SOC team might monitor network traffic for unusual activity, investigate potential security breaches, and respond to incidents such as malware outbreaks or data leaks. SOW, that is statement of work. So SOW or statement of work is a formal document that outlines the specific tasks, deliverables, and timelines for a project or service agreement. It defines the scope of work to be completed, the objectives, and the responsibilities of both parties involved in the contract. Example: in a software development project, the SOW would detail the features to be built, the project milestones, and the deadlines for delivering each phase of the project. SPF, that is Sender Policy Framework. So SPF or Sender Policy Framework is an email authentication protocol used to prevent email spoofing. It allows the domain owner to specify which mail servers are authorized to send emails on behalf of their domain. By checking the SPF record, receiving mail server can verify if the email comes from a trusted source. Example, if an email is received from example.com, the receiving mail server checks the SPF record for example.com to ensure the email came from an authorized mail server, helping to block phishing attempts. SPIM or SPIM, that is spam or internet messaging. So SPIM or spam or instant messaging or internet messaging refers to unsolicited and often intrusive messages sent over instant messaging platforms. These spam messages are typically used for advertising, scams, or phishing attacks. Example, a user might receive a message from an unknown contact offering a fake price or attempting to trick them into providing personal information, which is considered spam or instant messaging. SQL, that is structured query language. So SQL or structured query language is a programming language used to manage and manipulate relational databases. It allows users to create, read, update, and delete data in a database, often referred to as CRUD or CRUD operations. So CRUD is basically create, remove, update, and delete operation. Example, a simple SQL query to retrieve all records from a customer table would look like this. Select static from customers and this semicolon. SQLI, that is SQL injection. So SQLI or SQL injection is a type of cyber attack where malicious SQL code is inserted into an input field, allowing attackers to manipulate a database. It can lead to unauthorized access, data theft, or manipulation of database contents. Example, an attacker might input or 1 is equal to 1 dash dash into a login form, which can bypass authentication and give the attacker access to sensitive data stored in the database. SRTP, that is Secure Real-Time Protocol. So SRTP or Secure Real-Time Protocol, Real-Time Transport Protocol, is a protocol used to provide encryption, message authentication, and integrity, as well as protection against replay attacks for real-time communication such as voice and video calls. It is commonly used in VoIP or voice over IP and video conferencing applications. Example, SRTP can be used in a video call to encrypt the audio and video streams, ensuring that the conversation remains private and secure from eavesdropping. SSD, that is solid state drive. So SSD or solid state drive is a type of data storage device that uses NAND-based flash memory to store data, providing faster access times, higher reliability, and lower power consumption compared to traditional hard disk drives or HDDs. Example, SSDs are commonly used in laptops and desktops to improve performance, allowing for faster boot times and quicker file transfers compared to older HDDs. SSH, that is Secure Shell. So SSH Secure Shell is a cryptographic network protocol used to securely access and manage remote systems over an unsecured network. It provides a secure channel for communication by encrypting the data and ensuring authentication between the client and server. Example, using SSH, an administrator can securely log in into a remote server and execute commands or manage files. SSL, that is Secure Socket Layer. So SSL, Secure Sockets Layer, is a cryptographic protocol used to secure communication over a computer network, primarily the internet. It encrypts data exchange between a client like a web browser and a server, ensuring privacy and data integrity. SSL has been largely replaced by TLS, that is Transport Layer Security, but the term SSL is still commonly used. Example, when visiting a website with https:// in the URL, SSL/TLS ensures that any data entered such as passwords or credit card numbers, is securely encrypted during transmission. STIX, that is Secured Threat Information Exchange. So STIX, structured, that is Structured Threat Information Expression. So STIX here stands for basically Structured Threat Information Expression, is a standardized language used for representing and sharing cyber threat intelligence. It provides a consistent way to describe cyber threats, tactics, techniques, and procedures, that is TTPs, enabling organizations to share detailed information about attacks and vulnerabilities. Example, sticks might be used to describe an attack method such as phishing campaign, including the tools used, targeted sectors, and indicators of compromise, that is IOCs, allowing organizations to recognize and respond to similar threats. TechX Plus, that is Terminal Access Controller Access Control System. So what is TechX? TechX Plus or Terminal Access Controller Access Control System Plus is a protocol used for network device access control and authentication. It provides centralized authentication for users trying to access network devices like routers and switches, and offers encryption for the entire authentication process, improving security over earlier protocols like Radius. Example, in a network, TechX Plus can be used to authenticate network administrators before granting them access to configure routers and switches, ensuring that only authorized personnel can make changes. TAXI or TAXII, that is Trusted Automated Exchange of Indicator Information. So TAXI or Trusted Automated Exchange of Indicator Information is a protocol that facilitates the sharing of cyber threat intelligence between organizations. It is commonly used in conjunction with STIX, that is Structured Threat Information Expression, to automate the exchange of information about cyber threats, including indicator of compromises, attack patterns, and tactics. Example, TAXI allows one organization to share threat intelligence with others in a standardized way, such as warning about a new malware strain so that others can take protective measures. TCP/IP, that is Transmission Control Protocol, Internet Protocol. So TCP/IP Transmission Control Protocol/Internet Protocol is a suite of communication protocols used to connect devices on a network such as the Internet. TCP handles data transmission reliability by ensuring data packets are received in order, while IP is responsible for addressing and routing the packets to their destination. Example, when you access a website, your computer uses TCP/IP to break down your request into packets, send them over the network, and reassemble them correctly when they reach the destination. TGT, that is Ticket Granting Ticket. So TGT, Ticket Granting Ticket, is a part of the Kerberos authentication protocol used in computer networks. It is issued by the Key Distribution Center or KDC after a user successfully logs in, and is used to request service tickets for accessing resources on the network. Example, after logging into a network with Kerberos, a user receives a TGT which they can use to request access to other services like file servers without needing to re-enter their password. TKIP, that is Temporal Key Integrity Protocol. So TKIP, Temporal Key Integrity Protocol, is a security protocol used in wireless networks to provide encryption for data transmitted over Wi-Fi. It was introduced as part of the IEEE 802.11i standard to improve security over the older WEP wired equivalent privacy protocol. TKIP dynamically generates encryption keys to prevent replay attacks and ensure data integrity. Example, TKIP is used in WPA, that is Wi-Fi protected access, to secure wireless communications, providing a stronger encryption method than WEP, but it has since been largely replaced by the more secure AES, that is Advanced Encryption Standard. TLS, that is Transport Layer Security. So TLS, Transport Layer Security, is a protocol that secures communication over networks by encrypting data, ensuring privacy and integrity. Example, it protects data when using HTTPS websites such as online banking. TOTP, that is time-based one-time password. So TOTP, time-based one-time password, is a secure authentication method generating a temporary password that expires after a short time, synchronized with the current time. Example, used in two-factor authentication applications like Google Authenticator. TOU, or time of use. So TOU, or time of use, refers to a type of vulnerability that arises from a race condition, specifically involving the time gap between when a system checks a resource and when it uses it. If an attacker can modify the resource during this gap, they can exploit the system. Example, an application checks if a user has permission to modify a file. Before the application proceeds with the modification, an attacker replaces the file with a symbolic link pointing to a sensitive system file. The system then modifies the unintended file, leading to a security breach. TPM, or Trusted Platform Module. So TPM, or Trusted Platform Module, is a hardware chip in computers that securely stores encryption keys, certificates, and passwords. It helps ensure system integrity by verifying that the hardware and software have not been tampered with during startup. Example, TPM is used in BitLocker to securely encrypt and decrypt a computer's hard drive. TTP, that is Tactics, Techniques, and Procedures. So TTP, Tactics, Techniques, and Procedures, describes the behavior, strategies, and actions used by cyber attackers to achieve their goals. It helps in identifying patterns to detect, prevent, and respond to cyber threats. Example, a phishing email to steal credentials, that is Tactics, using malicious links, which is Technique, and deploying ransomware after access, which is the Procedure. TSIG, or TSIG, that is Transaction Signature. So transaction signature, or TSIG, is a security mechanism used in DNS, that is domain name system, to authenticate communications between DNS servers. It ensures the integrity and authenticity of DNS messages exchanged, protecting against unauthorized access and tampering. Example, when a primary DNS server updates a secondary DNS server, TSIG ensures the update request is authenticated and trusted. UAT, that is User Acceptance Testing. UAT, or User Acceptance Testing, is the final phase of software testing where end users test the application to ensure it meets their requirements and works as expected. It helps identify any issues before the software goes live. Example, a company's employees test a new payroll system to confirm it calculates salaries correctly and meets their needs. UAV, that is Unmanned Aerial Vehicle. So UAV, or Unmanned Aerial Vehicle, is a drone or aircraft that operates without a human pilot on board, controlled remotely or autonomously. UAVs are used for various purposes including surveillance, delivery, and aerial photography. Example, a UAV is used by law enforcement for aerial surveillance during a large public event. UDP, that is User Datagram Protocol. So UDP, or User Datagram Protocol, is a communication protocol used for transmitting data over a network without establishing a connection. It is faster than TCP but does not guarantee delivery, order, or error checking. Example, Streaming video services like YouTube often uses UDP to transmit data quickly as occasional packet loss is acceptable. UEFI, that is Unified Extensible Firmware Interface. So UEFI or Unified Extensible Firmware Interface is a modern type of firmware that replaces the traditional BIOS in computers. It initializes hardware during boot and provides a more flexible interface for the operating system to interact with the hardware. Example, UEFI allows faster boot times and supports large hard drives over 2 TB commonly used in newer computers. UEM, that is Unified Endpoint Management. So UEM or Unified Endpoint Management refers to the management of all types of devices such as smartphones, laptops, desktop, and tablets within an organization through a single platform. It simplifies security policy enforcement and software management for different devices. Example, a company uses UEM to ensure that all employees' devices are secured, updated, and compliant with corporate policies. UPS, that is uninterrupted power supply. The UPS is a device that provides backup power to electronic equipment when the main power source fails. It also helps protect devices from power surges and outages. Example, a server room may use a UPS to keep systems running during a power outage, preventing data loss or downtime. URI or Uniform Resource Identifier. So URI or Uniform Resource Identifier is a string of characters used to identify a resource on the internet or a network. It provides a way to locate or reference resources like websites, files, or services. Example, a website's URL might be https://www.example.com, which points to the homepage of that site. URL, that is Universal Resource Locator. So URL or Uniform or Universal Resource Locator is a specific type of URI that provides the address of a resource on the internet, including its protocol, for example, HTTP or HTTPS, and location, for example, domain path. Example, again, https www.example.com/page1 is a URL pointing to a specific page on a website. USB Universal Serial Bus. USB Universal Serial Bus is a standard for connecting devices to computers and transferring data or power. It supports a wide range of devices such as keyboard, mice, printers, and storage drives. Example, a USB flash drive is commonly used to transfer files between computers. USB OTG, that is USB on the go. So USB OTG or USB on the go is a feature that allows USB devices like smartphones and tablets to act as both a host and a peripheral. This means devices can connect to and control other USB devices without needing a computer. Example, with USB OTG, a smartphone can connect directly to a USB flash drive to transfer files. UTP, that is Unshielded Twisted Pair. So UTP Unshielded Twisted Pair is a type of network cable commonly used for Ethernet connections. It consists of pairs of wires twisted together to reduce interference but without additional shielding. Example, UTP cables such as Cat5e and Cat6 are widely used in office networks for connecting computers to switches or routers. VBA, that is Visual Basic for Application. So VBA, Visual Basic for Application, is a programming language used for automating tasks and creating custom functions in Microsoft Office applications like Excel, Word, and Access. It allows users to write scripts that can automate repetitive tasks or enhance functionality. Example, a VBA script in Excel can automate data entry and generate reports based on user input. VDE, that is Virtual Desktop Environment. So VDE or virtual desktop environment refers to a virtualized desktop system where a desktop operating system runs on a remote server and users access it over a network. It provides a consistent desktop experience across different devices without the need for powerful local hardware. Example, a company uses a VDE to allow employees to access their work desktop from any device such as laptops or tablets while keeping all data stored securely on central servers. VDI, that is Virtual Desktop Infrastructure. So VDI or Virtual Desktop Infrastructure is a technology that hosts desktop environments on a centralized server, allowing users to access their desktops remotely. It enables users to run virtual machines that replicate a traditional desktop experience regardless of the device they use. Example, employees can access their virtual desktop from various devices like laptops or smartphones with all data stored securely on a central server. VLAN, that is Virtual Local Area Network. So VLAN is a network configuration that segments a physical network into multiple logical networks, allowing devices to communicate as if they are on the same local network even if they are physically separated. VLANs help improve security and reduce broadcast traffic. Example, in an office, a VLAN can separate the HR department's devices from the IT department's devices even if they are connected to the same physical switch. VLSM, that is Variable Length Subnet Masking. So VLSM or Variable Length Subnet Mask is a method used to divide an IP network into subnets of different sizes, allowing more efficient use of IP addresses. It allows the subnet mask to vary across subnets, optimizing address allocation based on the specific needs of each subnet. Example, in a company, a larger subnet might be used for the headquarters with many devices, while smaller subnets are used for branch offices with fewer devices. VM, that is virtual machine. So VM or virtual machine is a software-based emulation of physical computer that runs on operating system and application just like a real computer. VMs allow multiple operating systems to run on a single physical machine, providing isolation and flexibility. Example, using a VM, a user can run Windows on a computer that primarily uses macOS without needing to reboot. VoIP or VoIP, that is Voice over IP. So VoIP or Voice over Internet Protocol is a technology that allows voice communication and multimedia sessions to be transmitted over the Internet instead of traditional telephone lines. It converts analog voice signals into digital data for transmission. Example, Skype and Zoom are popular VoIP services that allow users to make voice and video calls over the Internet. VPC, that is Virtual Private Cloud. So VPC or Virtual Private Cloud is a private isolated section of a cloud provider's network where users can launch and manage resources such as virtual machines and databases. It provides control over network settings like IP addresses, subnets, and security policies. Example, in AWS, a VPC allows users to set up a secure environment with custom configurations for web applications. VPN, that is Virtual Private Network. So VPN or Virtual Private Network is a technology that creates a secure encrypted connection or a less secure network such as the Internet. It allows users to send data privately, protecting their online activities from hackers and ensuring privacy. Example, a remote employee uses a VPN to securely connect to the company's network from home, ensuring sensitive information is protected during transmission. VTC, that is video teleconferencing. So VTC or video teleconference is a technology that enables real-time video and audio communication between people in different locations. It allows for virtual face-to-face meetings often used in business or education. Example, a company uses VTC software like Zoom or Microsoft Teams for virtual meetings, connecting employees for various offices worldwide. WAF or WAF, that is Web Application Firewall. So WAF or Web Application Firewall is a security system that filters and monitors web HTTP traffic between a web application and the internet. It helps protect web application from common threats like SQL injection, cross-site scripting, and other attacks. Example, a WAF can block malicious traffic attempting to exploit a vulnerability in an online store's payment form. WAP or WAP, that is wireless access point. So WAP or wireless application protocol, or this is basically, so this is WAP is basically wireless application protocol. It also stands for wireless access point, but here we are talking about wireless application protocol is a protocol that enables mobile devices to access the internet and used web-based application over wireless networks. It was designed for early mobile devices with limited processing power and small screens. Example, web was commonly used in older mobile phones to browse the web or access services like emails and news. Web WEP, that is Wired Equivalent Privacy. So web or wired equivalent privacy is an outdated security protocol used to protect wireless networks by encrypting data transmitted over Wi-Fi. It was designed to provide a level of security comparable to wired networks but is vulnerable to various attacks such as brute force and replay attacks. Example, web was commonly used in early Wi-Fi routers, but it has been replaced by more secure protocols like WPAT due to its weaknesses. WIDS, that is Wireless Intrusion Detection System. So WIDS, that is Wireless Intrusion Detection System, is a security system that monitors wireless networks for suspicious or malicious activities such as unauthorized access or attacks. It helps identify potential security breaches in real time by detecting anomalies in network traffic. Example, WIDS can alert administrators if an attacker is trying to connect to the network using a rogue access point or is attempting to intercept wireless communications. WIPS, that is Wireless Intrusion Prevention System. So WIPS or Wireless Intrusion Prevention System is a security solution that actively detects and prevents unauthorized access and attacks on a wireless network. Unlike WIDS, which only detects threats, WIPS can take corrective actions such as blocking or isolating rogue devices. Example, WIPS can automatically block an attacker trying to connect to a Wi-Fi network using an unauthorized access point or spoofing a legitimate device. WO, that is work order. So WO work order is a document used in organizations to authorize and track a specific task or job that needs to be completed. It outlines the details of the work to be done such as scope, resources, and timeline. Example, a work order could be issued to IT staff to replace faulty hardware in a computer or to perform maintenance on a server. WPA, that is Wi-Fi Protected Access. So WPA or Wi-Fi Protected Access is a security protocol designed to secure wireless networks by encrypting the data transmitted over them. WPA provides strong protection than WEP by using more advanced encryption methods like TKIP, that is Temporal Key Integrity Protocol. Example, WPA is commonly used in home and business Wi-Fi networks to prevent unauthorized access and protect data from eavesdropping. WTLS, that is wireless transport layer security or wireless TLS. So WTLS or wireless transport layer security is a security protocol designed to provide encryption and data integrity for wireless communications. It is a lightweight version of the TLS protocol optimized for mobile devices with limited processing power. Example, WTLS can be used in mobile applications to secure data sent between a device and a server, such as during online banking or shopping. XDR, that is extended detection and response. So XDR, that is extended detection and response, is a security solution that integrates multiple security products such as endpoint, network, and cloud security into a unified system to detect, investigate, and respond to threats. XDR uses advanced analytics and automation to improve threat detection and response across the entire IT environment. Example, an XDR system could detect a phishing attack on an employee's computer, investigate the spread of the attack across the network, and automatically block malicious traffic. XML, that is extensible markup language. So XML or extensible markup language is a flexible text format used to store and transport data in a structured way. It uses tags to define data elements, making it easy to read and share across different systems and platforms. Example, an XML file can be used to store customer information such as names and addresses in a standardized format that can be processed by different applications. XOR, that is exclusive OR. So XOR, exclusive OR, is a logical operation that outputs true or 1 only when the inputs are different, such as one is true and the other is false. It is commonly used in cryptography and error checking algorithms. Example, in binary, 1 XOR with 0 is equal to 1 and 1 XOR with 1 is equal to 0. XOR is used in encryption to combine data with a key in a way that can be reversed with the same key. XSRF, that is cross-site request forgery. So XSRF or cross-site request forgery is a type of attack where malicious website tricks a user's browser into making unwanted requests to a different site where the user is authenticated. This can result in unauthorized actions being performed on the target site, such as changing account settings. Example, if a user is logged into their bank account and visits a malicious website, the attacker could make a request to transfer money without the user's knowledge. XSS, that is cross-site scripting. So XSS or cross-site scripting is a type of security vulnerability where an attacker injects malicious scripts into web pages viewed by other users. These scripts can steal sensitive information, manipulate content, or perform actions on behalf of the victim. Example, an attacker might inject a script into a forum post that steals login credentials from users who view the post. So that's all for this video. I hope you people have learned something from this video. So please subscribe to the channel and like and share the video, and I will see you soon in the next video on the CompTIA Security Plus. Thank you and bye.